And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. Know you about to eat some fast meal. I got a pepper to see like a gas bill. You gon' coming back, so it ain't nasty. I don't want to see my companions some bad bills. Like a new like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Competition set up the funeral. I shot and catching all the shots. We gon' go work on the blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. Now they on top, but I ain't heading there. Only listen to King Sean and the talk about the Bills. Dominating on the field. All our players got their skills. Buffalo gon' make it kill. When we talk about the Bills, dominating on the field. And our players got the skills. Buffalo gon' make it kill.
What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Post Podium Podcast. We've been gone for too long, but we glad to be back. Listen, we got a great episode ready for you. It's past Christmas. I'm exhausted because I had to be up at 5 a.m. on Christmas. I ain't slept right since. How was y'all Christmas, fellas?
Man, my Christmas was good, man.
Yeah.
I got a chance to spend time with family, the kids. It was cool. We watched some good movies.
What movies you watch?
Hey, listen. I'm putting you on right now. If you haven't seen these movies, y'all got to see Carry On on Netflix. You got to see that movie. And you got to see 6888.
Oh, I definitely saw that.
You saw that?
Both of them.
Man, them drinks is good.
Carry On
Them
bogus.
drinks is good.
Carry On
He
bogus.
says, bogus. He was like, that ain't real.
That ain't real. That's how it goes
I
down.
was gonna ask you, what's because I know you ain't TSA, but you see all that.
Yeah, no, no. The TSA part was kind of consistent, but yeah, the rest of the circumvention of the piggybacking and all the security measures, I ain't like that. I wouldn't have that. But you see, my man, he badged in, but he ain't never scanned nothing. I can say, yo, no, here go my numbers. Go through and give me something.
Right.
You got to badge. You got to badge to scan. You can't just nah. They wildin'.
Did you see in the movies, eh?
No, I tried to watch Die Hard on Christmas Day, and then
Just a Christmas movie.
well, it's the only Christmas movie that's real. It happens on Christmas Day.
Okay.
I tried to watch it. I didn't get to do very much of anything aside from setting up, hosting, and then tearing down, and then trying to get some sleep to go to work the day after Christmas. So we host Christmas Eve. We host my wife's family, and then Christmas Day we do. The Fork House has we do our own thing where my mom comes over and we like the immediate family, right? So we really do two Christmases essentially. So we did it that way, and then I don't think I went to sleep till like maybe 10 o'clock that night. But even then, we watched the games on Christmas Day. I was pretty upset after that. But we played a few games and stuff like that. Me and the family, wife and kids, my mom and all that. And, we had a great time. And that was pretty much it for me. Yeah. That was the extent of my experience on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yo, speaking of games, have y'all ever played Kahoot?
Yeah. Kahoot, what is that?
It's a trivia game. So basically,
Y'all know what Kahoot is?
Huh?
Y'all don't know what Kahoot is?
No, I do. I played it at work.
So basically, it's a trivia game where you could play on your computer, on your phone. So we had it on our TV, so everybody could play. And basically, you see the questions and you answer it on your phone.
Ooh.
They got all the topics. So of course, I was winning most of the rounds with my family.
Of course.
That's because I wasn't over here.
We had the movie trivia, we had the music trivia.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was fun, man. Kahoot is nice. It's real quick to set up, nice and easy. Get in there and have some fun, man.
Yeah, he would have got me on movies for sure. Well, we used to go back and forth. What was that? Buzz?
I think you remember Buzz?
Yeah.
Dude.
We used to have a ball.
We would have been good because it was like the hood movies.
Yeah.
But I said, you see all the hood movies.
Me and you used to go. Remember we used to go back and forth all the man. Those good times. Good times. Yeah. Trivia is my thing. If you want to tell me some trivia. That'd be it. So no, I think for Christmas for me it was more so a blur. Yeah. We watched some movie with a big marshmallow.
Hang on, fellas. People are saying the audio is really too much bass, not enough treble.
Too much bass is what I sound like.
Too much bass, not enough treble. So let's jump out for a second. We'll be right back.
Stop talking so deep, Keisha. Sorry.
All right, we got it fixed.
I got to go back and hear this now because I want to know too much. We got a lot of AV people in this chat.
Huh?
You got a lot of AV people.
No. Well, you know what it is? We've set such a standard for ourselves that anything less than that is intolerable.
We taught them what treble
I'm okay
is.
with it. Yeah.
We taught them what treble is.
Yeah, well, we taught them what a lot of stuff is.
I see. All right, for that, I'm grateful.
They said that ain't triple P quality, man.
That's
ain't
not triple
right.
P quality. But no, we watched Carry On.
Yeah.
She fell asleep.
She fell asleep on Carry On?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ken went in the back, never to be seen again.
Yeah.
He got a karaoke. He got 2 versions of the karaoke machines. He got one for my mom on Christmas Eve, and then T bought him one on for Christmas.
All oldies, right?
Well, you know how Ken is, and and June, you know from the car ride to the Bills day, what did he want? He got him Thriller, Bad, and Off the Wall on CD form. CD form. So now, on what was it, yesterday, I guess, he even come out and say hi to us. All we just heard was Michael Jackson in the back. Like, yo. She's like, he just going to start the day off with Michael Jackson.
Yo, what is he going to do when he get like 13, 14? Because, bro, like, it ain't the same music no more, man. And that's what he used to now. Can you imagine when he hit the teenage years? He's like, Dad, what is this crap?
If he's not stuck in the past, I'll be proud.
Man.
Because this man, he's driven us, Michael and my mom. We're all like, okay, Michael, he's got to take a rest. We don't need Michael in the car when he's not there. We can do without. We were all big Mike fans until Ken came along and decided to run it into the ground.
Yeah.
Food was good. You know, my Christmas present was wings. He had a tray of wings out, and she said, "Let me get one." I said, "Hell no."
What flavors did you get?
She made them.
Oh, she made them?
Yeah, they were hers. Yeah,
Nice.
I said, hell no, this is me. So she knew.
This
so
is
she
all
bought.
me,
Yeah,
right?
it was a long pan. So she bought the.
Dang.
She bought the chicken legs for her and Ken, because And I literally sat like ate half the pan. I was like, I gotta put some of this for later. Just so. Because I had them in a plate. I said, you know what? Nah, I can't. I gotta have some tomorrow. I gotta put these up. I gotta put these over here. But I wanted them. bad. Yeah. So she made breakfast. So it was a good time. It was a good time. But we're leading up to my favorite holiday.
What, New Year's?
Ha ha! And I gotta work. But that's okay. It doesn't matter.
That's your favorite?
Oh, I
why?
love New Year's Eve, huh?
Really?
I love New Year's Eve. I love New Year's Eve.
You like popping champagne or something? Like,
I mean, I don't need New Year's Eve to do that, but
Well, of course. Of course.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It signifies the closure of one chapter and the beginning of another. So, whatever you messed up on in 2024, you can get it right in 2025.
Right.
It's like Groundhog Day.
You know what's crazy about New Year's, man? Like, there's so many times where New Year's hit, and I'm like, all right, it's a new year. And from January going to December, you really don't know what's going to happen. Like, you have no idea. Like, some of the things that happened to me that when January hit, I'm like, oh, man, it's going to be a good year. It was good, but I had no idea. Like, I wasn't even close. Like, you know how we kind of think about, like, this probably going to happen. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Way off.
No, pivot game is off. You just got to go with the flow.
So, like, that's one thing cool about New Year's is, like, you have, like you said, brand new year. You don't know what's coming. Could be good, could be bad, but you don't know what's coming.
You never know.
You gotta be ready for it.
Clean slate. You gotta be ready for it.
Be ready.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I like to, and I think this is a new mentality for me because I used to approach it that way, like out with the old, in with the new, you know what I mean, sort of deal. I think for me now it I don't know if it feels better or if it just is in line with the vibe that I'm on now, but I want to carry the momentum from last year into this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to think about it that way because to me, that's like all the work that I put in 2024. I'm intending on that to benefit me in 2025. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, I want that, that centrifugal force. I want that motion that I set in motion in 2024 to continue taking pace and increasing in pace and growing and blossoming in 2025. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my mentality going forward. Not that there's anything wrong at all with out with the old in with the new. I just think it's just for me it's like I used to be there and I used to fall into the you know how people make New Year's resolutions and stuff like that? Yep. Like, I used to fall into that.
You did those?
I
never did those.
But, like, for somebody like me who like, I'm going to be honest. Like, real moment of levity here. Like, there's times where I get intimidated by things that I know I have to do. Like, real talk, like starting this podcast was real intimidating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I was there.
You know what I mean? You told me we were gonna do. I was like, he's for real. T, what do I do? I thought what you're talking about. Oh my God. He said tomorrow. What am I gonna do?
Yeah. So like moments like that for me is like, you know, like sometimes I need a minute to think about it before I actually start to do it. You know, I need to process it. I need to, because I'll set goals in motion in 2025. Like, you know, like I want to lose weight. I want to do this. I want to do all these great things. That's all good for me. Mm-hmm. And then when I don't accomplish all of them, now I'm feeling like I failed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So instead of doing that, like, yo, let me just build off of what I've already got going. You know what I'm saying? Let me just continue that motion, continue striving towards the goals that I've already set instead of trying to stop those old goals and reset new ones. You know what I mean? Like
that's why I said I don't do that. I don't set goals.
Yeah. Right.
I just have a progressive mentality.
Right.
So whatever I'm doing, I'm making sure I'm better or I'm better than what I did last time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always progressing towards the better. Right. I'm never getting caught up in, man, I didn't do this or I didn't do this, so I feel like a failure. Nah, I just set a clean slate. Like, this is what I'm working towards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I just realized? Did we say who we were?
Who we were?
No.
We never said. We just listen to this talk. They're like, who are these clowns?
Who we are. Yeah. I'm 40 Keys. That's Melly Mac. You know.
Right. I don't even know what my name is, so it don't even matter.
But no, you know what's funny? What you're saying about that? It's all right. I'll tell a goofy thought of mine. This is a superstition of mine. Not superstition, but it's in the back of my head every time it changes. Don't get caught on the toilet when the drink turns into midnight.
Why?
Get a bath, get a shower. You want to be on the toilet when it switches over to the new year. You starting off like that. I ain't gonna say what it's starting off like.
You know how much peace I have on the toilet, bro?
Yeah, but you don't want that kind of peace when the ball drops. Happy New Year, you in there just doing what you gotta do.
Well, in terms of how you perceive, you know, in with the new and out with the old, like that's the perfect place to be. You flush the toilet as it hits midnight.
Ooh.
True.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Well, it's got to be precisely at midnight though.
Yo, if you can time that perfectly, bro, you might win the lotto.
I've been in the shower. Yo, T, what time is it? She said 11:50. I gotta go.
Gotta get out.
I don't even think I lotion. I said I'm good. I'm here.
Yo, I saw a clip. Somebody, they figured out how to start the end game and end on the Tony Stark snap. At
I don't know how they did it, but yeah.
It's one of the things. If you started at this particular time, by 12 o'clock, when he hit a snap, it'll be 12 o'clock. I'm like, that's hot.
That's insane.
I might want to try that this year.
That's
I might
insane.
want to try that this year. Just to, because my kids might think that's really cool, too, if we did that.
Like, Dad is a wizard.
No, that's not what I'm going for.
Like that
I just think it would be cool.
Had the little key fob in his pocket. Abracadabra, and he popped in the kid. Oh, I opened the door. No. Kids, they fall for everything right now, so it's all good.
Yeah, very true. Okay, so we got a lot to get to, fellas. We got a lot to get to, and I know that we have a lot in terms of our thoughts on the Patriots game, but if we could, I want to start here. I titled the episode "Should Sean Care About This?" Okay, and the thought behind that is, and I want y'all thoughts on this. All the frustration, you didn't have any frustration on Sunday. Like you were totally at peace with everything that happened. And I think the conclusion I came to kind of gives me a lot of peace with it too. And you might actually agree with this. So let me see what you think. So when I thought about what actually happened on Sunday, and it was a close game, and you know, yes, we could have been better against a team that is, you know, that has been bad for the last few years, right? But then I thought about all the injuries that we had. Then I thought about, okay, my mindset in particular is I'm focused on, and you've pointed this out before, I'm more focused on the political perception of the Bills, right? But I had to take it a step deeper than that in terms of why I think that way, right? When you think about the success of the Kansas City Chiefs, and you think about all of the different things that go their way, it wasn't always that way. When they were 10-6 with Alex Smith, they were still fighting for favor the same way everybody else was, right? But once they got the 5,000-yard season from Mahomes, and they got the MVP, and they got the Super Bowl win, and they got the Super Bowl MVP from this team, then they went back again 2 years later and won it again. Then they got there again. So I'm saying all this to say, once they accomplished all of these things, and the NFL realized we have another dynasty on our hands if we want it, right? So let's transition to the thought of what we've seen the Patriots enjoy when they had their reign. They got all the calls. They got favor in the playoffs. Games that they shouldn't have won, they probably won because, certain calls or non-calls or things like that. Like there's certain things that fall into the favor of a team that has been consistently great, right? But a lot of that is politics. The league's perception of its cash cow is such that it becomes holy after a while. We don't want anything to desecrate the image of the Kansas City Chiefs right now because that's who everybody tunes in to watch, whether they hate them or they love them. If you're a Kansas City fan, you're watching every game. And the fan base continues to grow, just like the Patriots fan base continued to grow after they started winning at game after game after Super Bowl after Super Bowl. And then it gets to the point where you hate the Chiefs and you just want to see a team beat them. So you're going to tune into that game because this is a good team they're playing. They might have a chance to beat the Chiefs. I want to see them boys go down, right? The NFL knows this. So once they get to that point of realizing and understanding, okay, the Kansas City Chiefs are the team that we need to put at the forefront. We need to keep them at the forefront for as long as they can hold it, right? That's what I want the Bills to achieve. I want to be that. I want the Buffalo Bills to have the talent, to have the wins and the guile to pull out games that they have no business winning, to dominate teams that they should dominate, to win in such ways where it just makes it seem like the one thing that you can say about the Chiefs this year is they're virtually unbeatable. It took a superhuman performance from Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to beat that team.
That made me smile.
That's what it is.
I tried to stay, but he's in the team. I said, "Oh, thank you, thank you."
Well, because they did their thing that game. But if that's all the Bills are is a speed bump for the Kansas City Chiefs, well, you can throw that out. I don't want that. I don't want to be that. The entire time that we actually have a shot at winning a Super Bowl. I want to be what the Chiefs are. I want to be what the Patriots were. You know what I mean? Like that's so.
You sound like me now.
Well, yeah. A lot of this is tied up in that mindset of why I was frustrated on Sunday because my train of thought was, if we want to be seen like the Chiefs, then we need to be dominating teams like this. The only reason the Chiefs got away with winning, single score games this season the way they did at they're 14-1 right now. Mm-hmm. The only reason they got away with that is because they got 2 Super Bowls under their belt. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you get away with playing that poorly, that consistently, and still winning games, is if you've already won 2. You've beaten the best of the best. You've been to 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls. It's like that's how you get that perception where you really can't do any wrong. And why shouldn't the Bills strive for that? I think that's the frustration, and that's what I think Sean McDermott does not care about. And so I want to ask you guys this. We have a head coach that is not interested at all in catering to the politics of the NFL, catering to the politics of where extremely talented players could possibly take you. He's focused on building a program, building a culture, and winning games with that. Where do you guys stand on that? Because in my mind, and I don't plan on us agreeing on this, in my mind, I think there's a very low ceiling to that thought process. You know what I'm saying? When you see Andy Reid walk into the locker room in a Santa Claus outfit, Sean McDermott wouldn't be caught dead doing something like
He
that.
did snowman. He did do a snowman.
Yeah,
a snow
but
angel.
because the players asked him to. You know what I'm saying?
And he
Like
made Josh. He said, "Josh, let's go." Josh like,
oh no, that's so he didn't have to do it on his own.
I would do the same thing.
Well,
I like post podium podcast, Snow Angels. Let's go. All of us unite. No, I honestly, and this is gonna be. It's not gonna answer your question, but the whole time you were talking, I was thinking about this. You said you want to be what the Chiefs were. I can tell you, people are gonna tune in to the Bills now. There's one thing that sets the Bills apart from the Chiefs. Actually, it's two things: one on the Bills and one on another team. There's conversation about two players in this league, Josh Allen, and you all know who the other guy is. Bills and Ravens is must-see TV. Doesn't matter who wins MVP. Bills and Ravens. If Josh Allen wins it, they're gonna be like, Lamar Jackson he got snubbed.
Sure.
What's he gonna do in the playoffs? If Lamar wins it, like Josh Allen should have won it last year, Lamar was better this year. So what's Josh going to do about it after losing to him in epic proportion in week 5 or whatever it was? Mm-hmm. So I think, let alone Mahomes is not Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson right now. He's not even in the conversation, as far as I'm concerned. The Chiefs are pulling stuff out of their hat. Xavier Worthy is now a wide receiver, and they're doing this without people that they're used to doing it with. But I think to your point, which should make you a little bit more happy about how the national media perceives it everywhere you go. Josh Allen, I know this, and I don't even bet. Josh Allen plus 225 for MVP. Lamar Jackson plus 175. He just moved up dramatically.
Minus.
Minus. I'm sorry. See, I don't know it all, but there you go.
Yeah, that ain't my.
I had the numbers right though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you look at the Bills, the only time the Bills are not lauded the way you're speaking about them is against 2, maybe 3 teams, maybe. So as far as the national media is concerned, you got Shannon Sharp on YouTube. As soon as the Bills play, him and Ocho were talking about the Bills. Josh Allen, TD Finns talk. He's watching the Bills game, talking about the Bills. He posted Lamar Jackson versus this is a clash of the Titans that people want to see.
Right.
Josh Allen is involved. The Bills are involved. Khalil Shakir, James Cook. Because I forgot who they were talking about. Oh, they were talking about Lamar Jackson is only as good because he has Derrick Henry. And they're like, this was not a Bills person. You act like they ain't got James Cook in Buffalo. This ain't me. Yeah. You act like they don't have James Cook. He's the leading rusher in Bills. He's the second leading. How does this work? He's got the second highest rushing total of any Bill of all time, only behind OJ. Yeah. And you talk about Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is a bolt carrier, but James Cook is exceptional. James Cook he moved his name all the way up in the category of should they re-sign a running back for the first time and put a real contract since who knows. That's the crucial part because they say Josh Allen is Josh Allen now because of James Cook. I shouldn't say it like that, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
They're saying that Josh Allen's job is so much. He's not having a good season in and of himself, but it's hidden by the fact we got a run game. Ray Davis, he's nice. Ty Johnson, he's nice. They come out in spurts, but there's one guy who's going to be who should be the second player since Marshawn Lynch to have a consecutive 1,000-yard season.
Wow.
This is in
Fred
2007.
Jackson didn't even do that?
Huh? Fred Jackson had 1.
Yeah, wow. Yep, he had 1.
And then LaShawn McCoy had a double up. And then we waited since 2017 for this moment. James Cook is 72 yards away. Wow. 72 yards away.
Yeah,
2 touchdowns away from tying for the all-time lead in rushing touchdowns in Bills history. So to answer your question, to go back to what you were saying, I feel good about certain aspects.
Yeah.
Like on a lower level, I still feel the way I felt. I still, I know it drives Matt crazy, but inside, Mac knows what we're talking about, even though he doesn't agree with it. I agree with Mac in the sense that if we had the Chiefs pedigree, I would feel like Mac. A win is a win.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would feel just like that. But in my mind, when I'm sitting here talking about MVPs and stuff, I take it to basketball. Jokic won it twice in a row. He got snubbed the third year. Guess what he did? He won a championship. Then he won MVP there. Give me that one.
Right.
I don't care about regular season. Give me that one.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that tells you the team fulfilled the goal.
Right.
And this is something that the world is laughing at us about right now. Because they say the Bills ain't never going to do nothing for real. Because
we bickering so much about an MVP. And
about an MVP and, they don't have to this is that. I mean, people still calling the team not that good. They're saying they have the pieces to get so far. But if they get to the pinnacle, man, listen, what are you going to tell us then? What can you say? We couldn't even sit here. I mean, I know, I'm sorry. I would probably destroy the podcast, but we couldn't even sit here and crucify McDermott for stuff he does if they win with this team. This iteration of the Bills, that'd be tough.
Yeah, if he does it with this team this year, we'll have to back off and give him some space to see if he can build it into something better, because we saw it in 2020, we saw it in 2021 where we had a dominant team where everybody just renownedly they have a Super Bowl caliber team. You know what I mean? But talent-wise, defensively, I think the lack of talent is showing on defense. Yeah. Offense took a step up for sure, but Mac, what you think, man?
So it's funny you said that. I think the biggest thing, the buzzword and your whole thing was politics. Because think about it right now. Who are the 3 best teams in the NFL or in the AFC? Bills, Chiefs, Ravens.
Yep.
Period, right?
Yep.
But what you were saying was how the Patriots was dominant, they got all the calls, how the Chiefs are. Now, when you think about it, to me, it's not the team, it's the quarterback. Tom Brady was the guy. He was the best quarterback at that time. So he got all the calls. His team got all the looks. When you think about it, no other team did that at that time but the Patriots.
Right.
Wasn't no other team getting calls. You look at now who's the guy? Pat Mahomes is the guy right now. Everybody say he's the best quarterback in the league. He get all the calls.
Yeah.
If you look at all those games, I could show you every game where there was like a questionable call where it bailed the Chiefs out.
Christmas Day, they got bailed out a few times.
You know what I'm
3
saying?
times,
So the problem is, even though the Bills is in that conversation, because Josh Allen is not the guy, I don't think he'll ever get that. I don't think we'll ever see that Patriots or KC until something happens to Mahomes. Because I really think it's politics. They're gonna go and paint the picture, the quarterback story. Tom Brady had all those calls. Pat Mahomes. I don't think Josh Allen was going to get that. Now, he's in the conversation because he's competitive.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like when it was Drew Brees and Peyton Manning, or Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, or, you know what I'm saying? Those guys, they were in the league. They were in competition, but they wasn't the guy.
Right.
Right? So until you get the guy, you're not going to get those calls until you're the guy, until you are the face of the NFL, until you are people having conversations that, man, they keep cheating for the Bills. How do the Bills get all these calls? Josh Allen has to become the guy. And I think that's the only way we're going to see that iteration of that domination is if he becomes the guy. And, when for that Pats game, the reason why I was so cool about it is, now let's think about this in the spectrum.
I don't want to. No.
The Pats are 3-11 at the time. Already eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah.
Again, politics. Why in God's green earth would the NFL flex that game? Why would he flex it? You only flex games when it's watchable, or there's something you want to watch, or there's a good rivalry, or this guy's fighting for this playoffs, this team's fighting for the playoffs. That's why you flex games. You don't flex games when you got a hot team and a doodle team.
Yeah.
Why would you flex it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then here's the other thing. Like, to me, like when I play against my kids in basketball or whatever it is, I don't go hard. Why? I don't have to, because I know the competition that I'm playing.
Dang, he's sitting right there.
It's not that old-blooded. I'm saying, though, so when me and him play, like, I beat him, but I don't have to pull out my bag of tricks or have to go hard like I'm playing somebody my age or somebody online or something like that, because I know him, right? It's the same as you. Like, if you playing basketball with Ken, there's no reason to beat him 50-0, even though you could.
Yeah, there's no reason.
There's no reason for you to do that.
Right.
Why? Because you know who you're playing. This is the same thing to me with the Pats. The Bills knew who they were playing. To put it in perspective, like, if you look at it, who had the most receiving yards in the game in the Pats game?
James Cook.
On 3 catches, bro.
26 yards.
3 catches.
Carries.
Catches.
3 for 26.
Yeah.
James Cook.
He was the leading receiver.
Yeah.
Oh, you said I thought you had. I thought you meant most rushing yards. My bad.
Now, he also had the most rushing yards on 11 carries, bro.
Yeah.
And they took him out the game. Why? I'm not wasting my time. Like, come on, bro. Like, who is y'all?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why, to me, when the game was there, like, at one point, I never thought that, again, we were going to lose the game. But at the same point, I'm not about to get mad. These teams is garbage.
I can tell you why.
To me, it's like it's wasting our time.
Why I think they flexed it. and this is going to not fly in the face of what you said, but this is the chief reason, Josh Allen. They flexed it because of the MVP race. Lamar Jackson's going to be on prime time, so they had to put Josh Allen on a wide scale. Why do you think Josh Allen's getting the number one CBS crew on Sunday? Against the Jets. Against Aaron Rodgers and them bums. Sorry, Jets fans. But it's the Josh Allen factor. So in my mind, to what you guys are saying, y'all winning. And I'm not saying y'all I'm not a Bills fan, but
Right.
Josh Allen's getting the love.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things at stake. James Cook, he's got 14 carries. Like, what is going on?
Well, a big part of that is Josh Allen actually has a legit chance at an MVP.
That's what I'm saying. It's basically him and Lamar.
Right.
Lamar's getting prime time. He's getting prime time.
Right.
They're trying to make it so you guys can decide.
But who played on Christmas?
Lamar,
I don't know. I ain't
Who
gonna
else?
watch it.
Mahomes.
See what I'm saying?
Wait, what happened?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Who played on Christmas?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Lamar and Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that that's not true. I think it is because I think it's a like I said, it's a 3-team that runs the AFC pretty much. 3 teams. That's it. All the other teams is those 3 teams. Everybody talk about every week. They talk about those 3 teams, but they didn't do Bills and Chiefs on Christmas, even though it would have been crazy. But no, let me get Mahomes. Let me get Lamar Jackson. They ain't putting Josh on Christmas.
They asked Haley. Haley said, hell no, this is our first Christmas in an engaged couple. Not doing it.
Haley
He ain't
put it
coming.
out. He ain't doing
I'm
it.
worth $9 million. He ain't coming. I got
He
some
ain't
pool
doing
in his
it.
house.
So I think it I don't like saying this, but to me, like, it is what it is. Josh is up there, but he's not the guy. To me, Pat Mahomes is the guy, and they're making Lamar Jackson the second guy. Josh is right there, but the only way I think he'll get it if he beat Lamar or beat Pat in the playoffs. That's how he's going to surpass them. If he don't do it, even though he's all the talent in the world, can do things that nobody can do, he'll never get the recognition. He'll never get the credit until he passed these 2 dudes.
Right. So that has to bring about the question then, because okay, well, let's just start here. Is that something that Sean McDermott should care about because of what it gives you? Because you know what I mean? Like, once you get to that level and you get that favor, you put every team you play at a disadvantage, regardless of who you have.
Yeah.
Should Sean want that? Should that be a focus to get his team to the place where they've accomplished enough to get that from the NFL?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, yes, but you're not going to like this. The way he achieves that by going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
So in his mind, he's not looking at that aspect. His mind is still focused on, I need to get there. But by him getting there, he actually fulfills that need, even though he's not looking for it.
I actually,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I actually agree with that. I think, and that's the ultimate goal, obviously. But that is exactly what gets you what the Chiefs have is getting there and winning it and doing that. What do you want to say, Keith?
No, I was gonna say, I'm sorry, y'all clicked, so I'm about to be outcast here. But no, I really think that if I'm Sean McDermott, the smart thing to do is to do everything you can to make Josh the MVP.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about this. He drafted him. When Josh came out of college, everybody's like, yo, 7th overall, he's going to bust out. He's a nobody. He went to Wyoming. He had no college recruits.
Yeah.
Now, everybody's talking about my defense. Everybody's talking about how I run people out. Everybody's talking about Steph Diggs. Everybody's talking about, but if I get a quarterback, guess what? His success equals my longevity.
That's true.
So the best thing he can do is to ride that wave and sit down and shut up. And he's got the best quarterback to do it because Josh ain't going to oppose him.
That's true.
I don't care what happens behind the doors. Josh ain't never going to outwardly oppose Sean McDermott. So as long as you can marry that perfectly, you're good to go until he retired, until he's gone.
Yeah, that's a good point, Key. Like, you're right. Like, if he does that, he basically gives himself job security.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's thinking about that. He's thinking about the chip. But personally, if he was selfish, oh, yeah, I'm getting Josh MVP by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, so then the next step of that becomes, is Sean doing everything that he needs to do as a whole to get the team to that point? And you know what I mean? Like, do his schematics line up? Does his player selection line up? Does his play calling and game time and crunch time decisions line up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, in your mind, is he doing everything necessary to get the team to that point?
So one thing I noticed the difference is, like we brought it up before, I'm noticing he's being more aggressive against teams that are good. Rams, Lions, Chiefs. Like, he's doing that for the important games that he knows, like, hey, I can't not play around with this team because they could come back and beat us, right? So I think in that aspect, when it comes to good teams, he's getting better. But honestly, as far as the player selection, let's be honest, bro, our defense, we don't have the players. And I say this, people might piss somebody off, but we don't have the players on defense right now that are Super Bowl caliber.
I can tell you why that is. And you guys know better than me. What's the trend in the NFL now? What's the trend going more towards? In the AFC especially.
Running the ball.
Yeah.
And when he built his team against the pass, that's why they were good before.
Yep.
Because he built his team to defend the pass, and that's why you had those little rangy linebackers. You got those little speedsters in the back that they weren't hitters. You know, even Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. Jordan Poyer was okay, but they were not hitters. Let's not kid ourselves.
Nope.
So what he did was he said, okay, here's the trend. This is the way the league is going. It's a passing league. I'm going to build my defense to stop that.
Yep.
Let them run on us all day long because nobody's got running backs.
Right.
But now everybody's like, you know what? That cover 2 cell, F that. We're going to go ahead and run again.
Yep.
And we weren't prepared. But you spent so much money. Let me go back into the salary cap.
Yeah.
He married himself and committed to the pass game. Now he doesn't have any money to get out of it and pivot and go back.
Yep.
So you got to look at how he's going to draft. You got, is he going to get bigger linebackers? Is he going to get a run stuffing, a 2-gapper nose tackle, 2-gapper? Obviously, for people that don't know, somebody that controls 2 gaps on the offensive line. You know, with one body. Because right now Ed Oliver's too small.
Yep.
Right now you got, you drafted Dwayne Carter. He's too small.
Yep.
You know, so you got all
Triggs
these small fast guys.
Thing.
Who's that?
Triggs just said the same thing.
Sweet, and trust me, I can't see it because I don't have my phone right now. But I mean, you look at the team, and I don't know if you can see the graphic, you guys, but Austin Johnson is listed as our leading interception leader. He's our interception leader, the backup D tackle, because he's in a 6-way tie with 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's tied.
Yeah, let me read the rest of them. Is Damar Hamlin, Terrell Bernard, Austin Johnson, Taron Johnson, Taylor Rapp, and Jamarcus Ingram. Yes.
Yeah, I got 2.
Those are the 2s. But look, I'm not going to do it because I haven't prepared for this. But challenge anybody to go out there and find another team that leading interception person on their team has 2 interceptions
and a defensive tackle.
and a defensive tackle. I mean, that's like, that's one of the requisites to being a defensive back, intercepting the ball.
Yeah.
Making plays on the ball. And McDermott, everybody talks about Hamlin, but there's a trend here. There's a trend here. And this goes back. You see players like Tremaine Edmonds, who I haven't watched him a lick in Chicago, but I'm sure he looks more of a linebacker there than he does here.
Yes, he's playing a more traditional linebacker
That's
role.
where I'm going at, yeah.
There, yep.
McDermott saw 6'5", 240, so he's a unicorn.
Yep.
I'm going to get 2 unicorns in the first round.
Just stand there and hold your arms out.
Yeah, it don't work that way. Because these guys got 40-inch verticals. These guys got 4.3 speed.
Yeah.
And they want to see Tremaine Edmonds in the space. So I think McDermott is dated in the sense, and I don't want to critique his thought process, but I want people to realize the reason why he's not pivoting, because him and Bean know they can't.
Yeah.
You can't. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. It's okay. Finish.
I say you can't build a defense on a 1-year salary.
Yeah.
That 1-year minimum vet men deal, you can't do that, and that's what he keeps doing because he's trying. People think he's doing it because they want to get a look or it's a smart. No, he's trying to get out of what he's already done on the slick.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one issue that's going to hinder us once the playoff starts is that defense.
Yep.
Because, like, I'm not changing my position from when the season started. I think we're going to have the same outcome. I hate to be the Debbie Downer or the guy with the bad news, but I feel like we're going to have the same exit.
Division?
Yep.
Yeah, I see that coming too. When you take into consideration the Ravens had a very, very bad pass defense, but for the last month they've been number 1 in the league. Mm-hmm. And then you also take into consideration the weakness of the Chiefs being their offense and then them not being able to throw the ball. And, oh, by the way, they put up 29 points on Christmas Day, and they look like they have an entirely different and better pass offense now. And not that I'm like shrinking looking at these teams play other teams, I know once they play the Bills, it'll be a different story because the Bills will figure out ways to slow that stuff down. But the issue is this: when you get into the playoffs, I think Rex was it Rex Ryan that said this, or no, it might have been who's the other guy, the guy that talks about Josh a lot on I think he's on ESPN. You know who I'm talking about?
What do you look like?
White dude used to play for the. He used to play in the league, quarterback.
Thank you.
Carr?
No, not Carr.
Chris,
what is his name?
Chris
Not Chris Sims.
No. Okay.
He comes on the radio
Orlovsky.
show.
Donowski.
Orlovsky.
Orlovsky.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good job,
So
Keith.
I actually think it was him, but he was talking about how, the playoffs are about talent and matchups. And when you look at actually, I don't think this is Orlovsky now talking about this because I don't think he talks about the Bills in this way. But when you think about the talent level that the Buffalo Bills have, just take it from a defensive perspective. What the Bills have on defense talent-wise compared to what these other teams in the AFC have talent-wise offensively. It becomes so much less about scheme and more about the playmakers you have. This is why we had such a heavy several weeks of talking about Stephon Diggs, because there's a talent deficiency that you it's obvious when you look at the Buffalo Bills. Now offensively, I think they're straight.
Yeah.
I think offensively they can match up against anybody in the playoffs.
And you're going to see that because the one thing that I'm not worried about is a scoring. We're going to score on every team we play in the playoffs. I don't care who we
so many
play.
different ways. That's why.
Right,
so
right.
We're definitely going to be scoring, but the crux is going to be on defense.
Yeah, yeah. You have to, and this is the thing. Sean McDermott's mentality, especially as a traditionalist defensive-minded head coach, he doesn't want to be so aggressive to the point where he gets taken advantage of. He don't want to blitz or run a zero blitz or something like that and then watch a ball go over the top for a touchdown. And the sad part is he can't afford not to play that way. He can't afford not to be that aggressive. We saw this against the Lions. We saw this against the Rams. We saw this against the Chiefs. They had to be in the third quarter when they felt like they had enough of a lead to sit back and just let the Chiefs offense come to them. The Chiefs marched right down the field. It wasn't even close. You know what I'm saying? And so now you go into the playoffs where everything is more intense. The schemes, both of the teams that you have to get past have seen you already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? On top of all the stuff that you've put on tape with after you played them. So it's not even like you're gonna surprise them with anything in the playoffs. That's why talent is such a big deal, because when you can't surprise a team with scheme, when you can't shut a team down with scheme, you need players to go out there and beat their man one-on-one. And how many players on defense do we have like that we can throw out there and say, this guy's going to shut his guy down no matter what?
You know what's funny about the Patriots game? I don't know if you guys realize this, but we blitzed the most times this whole season against the Patriots. That was the most blitzes we've sent this whole year. And out of that, we generated 17 pressures. We blitzed 16 times. The next best is 13. 17 pressures were generated. That was second of the season. 8 hurries, second. 3 turnovers, second. 2 sacks. On the most blitzes, 2 sacks.
All that pressure, only 2 sacks.
7th most this season.
And they scored 21 points.
And they scored 21.
So how much does pressure mean, really?
Well, the thing is,
point.
The point is, I'm looking at as to what Josh said. He said we're toeing the line, not trying to show them everything, but we're working things out. So to me, they ran man, I believe, ran in this game. They ran more than normal.
Yeah.
They blitzed more than normal. They were trying to see. They want to see, will this work?
I think they were just practicing on Patriots. They was
that's where I am
practicing
with
on
it.
them.
That's where I am with it. And that gives me closure. I can sleep at night now knowing that I better not see that again. Because they don't do well when they blitz. They don't, the aggressiveness that the fans love.
Yeah.
Statistically, I know you guys hate stats, but trust me, I'm going to give them to you. In this regard, math don't lie. Statistically, the more aggressive they are, the worse they are. So I mean, put that feather in your hat.
I mean,
the issue is fans, they'll never come to grips with that, because if they see a play And
Yep.
they say, oh, why didn't you blitz there? You should have blitzed there on that third down.
Yep.
Like you said, statistically, it puts us in a worse spot if we do that. But if a play goes off, they should have blitzed.
Like,
Should
yo,
have been more aggressive.
in Madden, I would have blitzed because I had
Right. Right.
this is the most damning part about all this, and you'll like this. You might like this as well. I don't know. Don't throw nothing at me. When they play real defense, all the deficiencies show.
Yeah.
When they play real defense, everything shows. When you should blitz, when you should play man, we can't do that stuff.
Yep.
All we can do is cover too high and don't let them beat you on one play. And is that the limitations of our safeties? Sure. Is Christian Benford that good? Mm-hmm. Was Kyer Elam a dumpster fire? Yes, he was, but that don't matter. Put Russell Douglas there. He was worse.
Yeah.
Terrell Bernard, where were you? Dwayne Williams on the sideline. You know, he was hurt, whatever. Balin Spector was in there. But the thing is like, when are you going to realize? See, maybe he recognizes this ain't going to work, Sean McDermott. You know, he can't do anything. Like I said, he can't fix it now. But let's see if he gets another Dorian Williams type player. Let's see if he goes and lets Javon Solomon play again next year or play more next year. Let's see what he does on D-line next year. Does he get that bendy edge rusher, that traits he got that we want? That guy from Tennessee, that guy from wherever. You know, a long guy that actually can move. Rousseau's on pace for 8.5 sacks. The leader on the team, 8.5 sacks.
Right.
We had 10.5 with Leonard Floyd last year.
Leonard Floyd. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what does that tell you? It tells you your players ain't good enough.
Right.
You can scheme all you want. Don't blame Babbage. I'm telling you, do not blame. It's not him. But the point is, you can only work with what you got.
Right.
And at this point, you got what you got. You can't. I saw an article saying you should go out there and sign Patrick Peterson. What?
For what?
I have no idea. Because I'm like, okay, all right, y'all don't understand the Bills' plight right now. Whoever wrote that don't understand the plight.
Yeah, I think they just looking at like kind of what we're saying. They don't have elite playmakers, so let's just get all these elite playmakers off other teams and put them on our team.
Right.
Not looking at how much we got to pay them, not looking at their age, not looking at all that stuff. It's just that we don't have elite players. They got elite players. Let's bring them over here. That's
Right.
all they see.
Yeah.
Right.
I want what other teams have. I want the elite players.
The other part of that too, though, is, and y'all can tell me what y'all think about this thought, but there are more free agents in since Sean McDermott that has been here that have come here and had great success and put up numbers than draft picks. You know what I mean? And I think to some degree that has a lot to do with the thought process of, well, we need this now. Let's go sign a guy, as opposed to drafting a guy in the first round and bringing him in. You know what I mean? Like, here's the other part of this too. Bruce Arians and his offense was notorious for this. If you weren't already a good quarterback like a Carson Palmer or a Kurt Warner or a Tom Brady, it was extremely difficult to pick up his offense, right? And towards the end of his career, people call him the quarterback whisperer because he had, Carson Palmer and all these other guys. But truth be told, he was better as a quarterback's coach. That's how he got the quarterback whisperer moniker. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because he was better at working one-on-one with these guys and getting them to develop in that way. But as a head coach, he wasn't that. His offensive scheme wasn't that without an established great quarterback. So I'm saying all that to say, I think with where Sean McDermott is now, in terms of what he's trying to get out of this defense and the way that he has decided what he wants the offense to look like and what he wants the defense to look like. Let me take it back to this point, because Nathan Oliver brought out the thought that I was hoping to get to somewhere in this conversation. He said both dynasties have been led by veteran head coaches. Belichick didn't do that with his first team. Reed was run out of Philly before he could build it. So I think where my mind is going is, as much as we are trying to fight, claw, and scratch to salvage what has been built and what has given us hope and what has given us confidence and what has given us joy Sunday after Sunday after Sunday in the regular season, fellas, if we have another divisional round exit, which we think is going to happen based on what we've seen so far, are we readily giving Sean just another try at it, Or are we saying something? Matter of fact, Steve sent this to me on Facebook. We were talking earlier.
Steve Lynn.
Yeah, Steve Lynn. Sorry, Steve Lynn.
Steve Noble don't be hitting me up. He hit me up, man.
I be talking to Steve Noble all the time.
Oh, he's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you were signing into the Post Podium Podcast
You know
Twitter,
what's funny about that?
what?
I actually locked myself into the Post Podium Facebook group, and I didn't get any of my instant messages from my own personal because I couldn't get out of it. I was like, "Where you at?" I'm like, "With me." I sent you something 3 days ago. I didn't know I wasn't on there, so I'm not getting my messages. I'm like, it was good.
Yeah, I'm only one person now for the rest of my life. I can't be two. But yeah, so what was I saying?
No, you're saying you talked to Steve Lynn.
Yeah. So Steve asked a question. He said, what if we? And I'm paraphrasing because he didn't actually say it specifically this way, but what if we let Sean go and put Brady in that position? Now we've got the offensive guy there. He can keep the culture that we've been having because he's been in it for 2 years now. He kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it would kind of be status quo just with a different guy at the head of this entire deal. And you still keep Babbage. You basically have the same offense, and whatever Babbage wants to do with the defense. But now you've got two younger coaches. The offensive coordinator is really not going to matter because it's Joe Brady at the end of the day. And you just keep moving forward with that. And you really don't have to give up as much as we would have had to have given up if we fired everybody and just went and got another head coach. What do you guys think about that option?
I think we'd be in the same boat. We'll be average. We have a dominant team that gets to the playoffs, but can't get over the hump.
I think
because the only way it changes is if we get those elite players on defense. That's the only way it's going to change. If they don't do that, I don't care who you put in the head coach.
Yeah, I could see the Bills going to get your boy Will Johnson and bring in Pat Peterson and mentor him. And it's like, what? You see the dude? He plays your scheme. There's no way it's happening. It's not happening. But you're bringing in somebody that plays zone. He's better in zone than man. I've seen this. I can attest to it. He plays what we play. Mm-hmm. He will lock down whatever you need to lock down in our current stature. Mm-hmm. But you're going to bring in somebody that has done it in the league because that's your comfort level. That's your binky.
Right. Yeah, that's true too. That's true too.
So that's the part that has to go. See, that's the next iteration of McDermott that has to go in the trash.
Yeah.
What he did before the control miser, that's gone. Not gone, but it's alleviated just a bit, enough. Because we see a different offense. We don't see what we saw before. We see a difference in defense slightly that McDermott is not comfortable with. I know that, and I'm not talking to McDermott. I'm talking to anybody in the organization. Yeah. You can see it. Yeah. But in order to move this team to the next level, you have to see what Kyrie Elam was 2 years ago. If you saw he was dumpster juice 2 years ago, 3 years ago, he should have been gone.
Right.
Don't hold on to him and hope.
Exactly.
He should have been gone.
Exactly.
Because what they're doing is they keep putting people on top to mentor. Russell Douglas, mentor him. Kareem Jackson, what have you seen in all your previous stops with cornerbacks that you've seen? Yep. Mentor. Everybody go around this guy that might be good, might be not, but now you're faced with, is he going to start next year because you have nothing left? Or are you going to invest a high draft pick on a cornerback that the Buffalo Bills will not have a high draft pick to get somebody worth at the 28th, 29th, 30th pick? So now you're in another conundrum. What do you do? Do you sell the farm and try to isolate this guy while he gets his feet together, or are you going to spend more money on somebody that you really don't need?
Right. Yeah. And I'm halfway with you. The only thing that I'm worried about is what if the draft picks don't pan out? That's what I'm scared of.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You wouldn't know more if you played them.
Exactly.
No. I mean, like, for example, let's say I'm going to alleviate my issue. I'm going to go get those elite players in the draft. Yep. But what if I get those players in the draft and they don't work out?
Well, see, okay. I wholeheartely understand that fear because that's a fear we had during the drought. Mm-hmm. And what I would say to that is Sam Darnold. If your fear is getting Jets Sam Darnold, then you're not thinking the game the right way. You're not thinking football as far as team building the right way because you're thinking, if I can't bring this guy in and make him do what I want him to do, then he's not going to work out as a draft pick. The idea should be, I want to get the talent in here, figure out what they do best and create a system that allows them to go out and do that.
And see, that's the problem with how they built the defense. You spend all that money, now you don't have the money to build around that corner piece. That's your cornerstone.
Right.
You know, if you get that elite safety, that whatever at 20, even 28, 29, that's where your scouting comes into play. Your scouting department should say, it's easy to say Malik Neighbors was the number one, or, you know, whatever. It's easy to say Ramon Dunze was good. It's easy to say Brian Thomas was going to pan out. It's easy. I did that. I ain't nobody.
Right.
But when are you going to find a Lad McConkey? When are you going to go ahead and find yourself, you know, one of those later guys? Not even in the third, fourth, fifth round. But you have to know that you're good enough. You're not picking in the teams anymore.
Right.
You're picking in. Now you have to look at it differently. So when I used to scout on the games, I didn't even scout first-round draft picks. Because I knew I was going to number 30, so I'm getting a second rounder.
Right.
I'm going to see who the best. If somebody falls there when I pick them, cool. But I'm not going to waste my time because that's how they scout. They have guys assigned. Who are your second-round picks? Who are your third-round picks? What reason are you in? What's your specialty at position? Go do it. Yeah. Watch all the film you can. But see, they don't do it. They're lazy. See, I could see if you drafted Cam Kinchins or something like that and then went and got Micah Hyde on a one-year deal and don't even dress him. That's how you do it. You get your one-year deal and don't even plan on dressing them. Those are your depth guys, not Mike Edwards. Mike Edwards brought in to start. What is that?
Yeah.
That tells you right there, I don't have any faith in what I really have. But go ahead, sign Taylor Rapp. He'll sign for a one-year deal with two opt-out years. DeMar Hamlin's, he's a holdover. He's still here. He knows he's good enough. Let's go get Mike Edwards. He fell off the peanut tree, or what is it, the peanut wagon, and he'll sign for a year because nobody else wants him.
Yeah.
So let's start him. That's how we get him. That's how we get him in the building. We tell him we're going to start him. That's why he was pissed off when he left. They told me I was starting. That's why I signed that one-year deal.
Yep.
Man, I didn't even see the field, and he was healthy. I know he wasn't healthy the whole time, but he was healthy, and he never got a chance again. So when you promise somebody like Anquan Bolden something, be straight with them.
Yep.
That's how they stay. If you're not going to play, you're not going to play. Mm-hmm. How you feel about that? This is where we're trying to get to. We're going to get Malik Neighbors. We're going all in. Are you cool with that?
I think the mentality then has to become Sean is not the guy you can do that with, because Sean's mentality is not he's not a player's coach. Mm-hmm. He's a culture coach. And you hire culture coaches to come in and fix your program when it's broken. Yeah. You don't hire a culture coach to take you to the Super Bowl. Right. And I'm not saying that Sean McDermott can't become that or can't grow into that or he'll never be that. I'm not saying that. But I just think for where the Buffalo Bills are now, they need someone who knows how to not cater to the players, but accommodate the players to the degree that allows them to be what you need them to be, which is playmakers on a consistent basis.
Walk the tightrope.
Right. Yeah. And you can't get that with the culture that you have now, because the culture that you have now is team first, players last. Right. You know what I'm saying? And there's not many star players and all-star players that want to come to a program like that. Yeah. And college players don't even want to do that. If a college player goes to a team, look, you better lower the bridge for me. You better put all the honeys out for me. Like I better be the focus, because I'm coming here to be the focus. I'm coming here to help you win games. I know I can do that. You know I can do that. The only thing stopping me is you putting me out on the field all the time. And let's not get it twisted. Players that get drafted come in with the same mentality. Yeah, sure. You picked me and you drafted me to come to this team because you think I can help you, but you're not going to play me? Sure. Like, regardless of what your position coach say, I can play. And even with what Elam has shown us, I said this in a text message, this was only his 6th career starting game. 6. He ain't even got a full season yet. Right. You know what I'm saying? And people are judging him based off this performance, and they're saying, well, it figures why they didn't keep him on the field. You can't look at it that way. Yeah. What other corner is expected to come in and do what he's expected to do with the little bit of practice time that he gets and the little bit of experience that he has?
Yeah, I think you can look at it that way, but you can't covet McDermott.
Well, yeah, no. You're right.
No, I'm not going to get you, but I'm just saying, like, when people say, well, why can't you? But then they say McDermott for president or whatever, because McDermott should have recognized this ain't the move. I got to get this guy there before his tape on him. before people can't see he really can't do such and such and such. I gotta get a play. I gotta get a pick. I gotta get something. We need stuff.
Right.
Milano was hurt. There's got to be a number 2 linebacker back there somewhere that could do what he does. There's got to be somebody, but you should know that. They always talk about, we had this guy in our draft board in 2017. Who cares? You ain't going to get him,
Right.
unless he falls in your lap. Everybody make a trade. They did this. It doesn't matter. Build what you got, or be aggressive.
Exactly. White Town's King said, you can't get elite players by drafting in the late 20s. This is why we should have taken a step back this season instead of winning. I don't.
Sure you can.
Yeah, you can.
Look at the Patriots.
Exactly.
When have they ever had picks in the top 10?
The Packers.
Back when Tom Brady was there.
The Chiefs.
Look at the Chiefs.
Yep.
Yeah, you could definitely
Sure
do
you
it. It's not as easy.
Yeah,
like you said. You can't just go and get, he's the top guy. I'll just grab him.
Just
Right.
You got to do your research.
Yep.
Right.
Poach him.
Ariel Grande says McDaniel is the prototype players coach, and that is the softest team of all time. The Dolphins.
Miami.
I mean, okay.
Funny.
let's not get this twisted. I'm talking about a good coach that happens to be a players coach. I'm not saying just any old players coach. Like we got to stop taking this to the extreme. If you think about what I'm saying to the best degree that you can, I'm talking about Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I'm talking about. And I know there's not 20 Andy Reids sitting around, but guess what? Sean McVay's a players coach. Kyle Shanahan's a players coach. Those guys protect their players. They build programs that allow their players to flourish, and they don't put guys in positions that they're not designed to play in or that they're not built to play in.
I mean, check this out, though. To the point, White Town, I think it was, the draft. What round was Deion Dawkins drafted in? What round was Spencer Brown drafted in?
Right.
What round was James Cook drafted in? Yeah. What round was Christian Benford? What round was Terrell Bernard?
All those are bona fide starters.
There are other teams in this league, plenty of them, that would love to have Greg Rousseau drafted in the end of his first round. You're talking about me. You look at we're going back to Kyer Elam. Of course, it's a first round bust. Now, maybe, in Buffalo at least. You're looking at Ed Oliver, who was a high pick that really hasn't done led up to what he was supposed to. But we talked about it on draft day. What did I say? That ain't gonna work.
Right.
I said it ain't gonna work. I knew that. So you select him ahead of, I think it was it Justin Simmons that year or whatever. Mm-hmm. You select him ahead of guys that are bona fide, that have put stuff on tape. And you're out. What they always say about the Bills? The Bills always think they can outsmart people, are smarter than everybody else. They always do stuff that makes not a lot of sense.
Yep.
Dawson Knox, who right now, I know people would say it, but he's our best tight end right now. What round was he? He never caught a college touchdown. Never had a college touchdown. Played quarterback in high school.
Yeah.
But you want to find out? You got to know how to do the research.
Exactly.
But it all starts with having an identity. When we started this show, you saw you say, what's the identity?
Yeah.
Because when you build Golden State, we'll say,
mm-hmm.
Steph Curry may have been Steph Curry everywhere. Who knows? But it's a Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. It's a Steve Kerr, Mark Jackson. It's like all these things around this player. LeBron James, he's different. He could have did what he does anywhere.
Right.
Michael Jordan, anywhere. Kobe, anywhere. But there's a lot of dynamite players who had to have a system around them.
Yep.
It's funny you said that because I just saw Shaq got a special out, and he was saying how when he went to the Lakers, when he first got there, they had all the players, but they didn't have a coach. So he went to Phil Jackson's house like, yo, we need you. And Phil was like, nah.
Yeah.
He was like, no, we need you. Bro, Phil Jackson had this man go in the lake and move this log.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, right. He was like, no, I'll do it. He was like, no, you're not going to do it. I'm just playing. I'm like, no, I'll do it. The man walked in the water, took a log, and walked it out just to prove to him that I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? I know you can get me an MVP and you can get me a championship.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So like you said, Key, you need all those pieces. Like now I know why you hate when people say that, but when people say, oh, we got Josh, we're good, I know why that bothers me, Sean, because you need other pieces around him.
Yep.
Now, yes, it's good that you have one of the best quarterbacks in the league because it'll get you a long way. But what give you over the top is having those extra pieces. You need the extra pieces to get over the top.
Yeah.
MDL says anyone can say get better players and coaches. Give us some examples of available players and coaches to hire. Listen, we've talked about this before. I think if you're looking for a head coach to hire, you need to start with a guy that can put a system around Josh that allows the team itself to play to its strengths. And for me, honestly, that starts with Ben Johnson. He's the first guy that's going to be available this season. He's one of the best offensive minds in the league right now with what he's done with a limited quarterback in Jared Goff. And if you look at the way that offense is designed, they've built that offense to win a lot of different ways. And if Ben Johnson was to come here and work with the pieces that we have, our offense would be even better. The issue is this. Let's take a step back from trying to put everything we're saying in a box in order to poke holes in it and disprove it. When we started this podcast, the idea was there are other options available, and there have been other options available for the last 7 years. What we've got caught up in is getting so infatuated with regular season wins that we forget about the postseason exits. And we want to crown McDermott as this guy who by stats is the second winningest head coach in Buffalo Bills history. Fine. But he's also the head coach of a team that is really good in an era where the rest of our division is trash. It's the same exact thing the Patriots had to deal with when they were reigning over the entire NFL. They got 6 wins off of terrible teams every year until Miami had a good team here and there, until the Jets had an AFC championship level team 2 years in a row. Those were the only times when they didn't win it. Yeah. That was it.
Yeah, I can. Well, go ahead. Preach.
Yeah. The point that I'm trying to get to here is, I'm not saying that Sean hasn't been good for the city of Buffalo and good for the Buffalo Bills. And people are pointing to Rex Ryan in the chat, and they're talking about how Rex Ryan did a terrible job. Listen, all Rex Ryan did was what he was allowed to do here. Based on what I know, he walked into the room, took the head coaching job, and then was told, you can't tear this down. You can't get rid of all of these players. You have to build with what we have. Why? Because it was the year the owner bought the team, and he didn't want to step into a situation with a bad team. Mm-hmm. He thought just adding the element of Rex Ryan, a winning coach and a popular coach, would not only boost the ticket sales, but boost the performance of the team. And that was way off. Our owner has no idea how to build a football team.
Or
none.
Hockey team.
Huh?
Or hockey team.
Or hockey team, for that matter, okay? But this is what we've had to work past. We worked past that. We got over Rex Ryan. We got Sean McDermott into office, who in his first 2 seasons has the same winning percentage, as the same record as Rex Ryan. So let's not play around like Sean McDermott just came in and was the bomb. Like, we have to really take a look at what's really been happening. I'm not going to go through the whole slew of evidence and reasoning for why we've gotten to this point. Everybody that's been with us from day one, everybody that's been rocking with us all year long, y'all know what the reasons are, okay? Yeah. But for everybody else that's new, that's tuning in and trolling or whatever they're trying to do, the bottom line of it is this. We have an all-time great quarterback in NFL history. We have an all-time great quarterback in NFL history. For us to consider not even exploring the idea that we could be better than we are now is asinine. It makes no sense to not even consider the thought that we could possibly be better than where we are right now at 14-3.
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes into what I said a while ago when I said if you're not the champ, it's a failure.
Right.
You know, and I know it's just go over here. It's Matt. But think about it. But if you're content losing a division round every year, then it is what it is. That's what you want. You want to go to the playoffs? Fine. You want to make the playoffs? Fine. I get it. But for me, I want the bowl.
Exactly.
I don't care about MVP. I don't care about player of the year. I don't care about coach of the year. I don't care about none of that. I want the Lombardi. That's the only trophy I want because that's the trophy this city's been yearning for forever. We've never had one. And I want it. I want to see it. I want it to come down Main Street. I want to park over at Canal Side. I want the parade. I want them to figure out how they're going to get all these people into Buffalo because they coming.
Right.
Let us win. Buffalo shut down because there's no more space. So when people say, okay, like earlier, I don't know who it was anymore. I don't have my phone, but we're talking about
Some of these people,
replacing players.
I'm not even going to say their name. I think they're just trying to get publicity in here.
It's all good.
At this point.
But my thing is we're talking about replacing players. With what? What is the scheme? That's all you need to know. What is the scheme?
Right.
We're a zone team. The hell you take Kyrie Elam for? We have a light front. You think you need some beef in the second level? You got a light second level who flies up. You think you might want to invest in Tavondre Sweat even? Somebody big? Maybe? I mean, it's not the player. I'm not critiquing the player.
Right.
It's a player in this scheme that makes no sense.
Exactly.
So one thing I'll say, like I said, I think our problem is more than the coach. So if you put another coach in there, like I said, I think we still get the same results, right? I'm not trying to
You think it's owner related?
owner and the way the team is built.
Mm-hmm.
So I say that to say this, even with, like I said, even if we get another coach, I think we still get the same result. And I'm not trying to save McDermott, but I don't count his first 2 seasons because he had Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, somebody said it.
And then his second season, he had a rookie Josh Allen. Like, who's supposed to, like, he's not, to me, I don't expect him to be great in those first 2 years at all. So I don't count those at all.
So
but,
I'm looking at what Jared Goff did with Sean McVay. I'm looking at what Jimmy Garoppolo did his first year with Kyle Shanahan. I'm even looking at what RG3 did with Kyle Shanahan as an OC.
Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't a rookie when he went to Kyle Shanahan.
How many games did he start?
I'm not sure.
He didn't start a full season before he got to San Fran.
He was replacing. He replaced Brady until after he had came back.
Did he start that whole season?
Yeah. That's why Belichick didn't want to get rid of him. He wanted to get rid of Tom, and Tom's like, "Oh no, you getting rid of him." He made him get rid of him. So I'm saying, even if you got a great coach with a rookie quarterback and a quarterback who was trash, like, you're not going to win no games with that.
No, so I think more so. And this might not be anything what you mean, but when I hear the stat, the Rex Ryan, and it's a comparison. Everybody's talking about how bad Rex was, but how great Sean was. It's like when St. Doug came in. You know, everybody's talking about, oh, he said you did with the guy before you. He got a longer leash because of what you said. He had Tyrod.
Right.
Anybody that knows, and I'm going to get canceled for this, I don't even care. Anybody that knows anything about Tyrod knows that's not a real quarterback.
Bro, he's not a franchise starter quarterback. He can throw in a couple games, he can win a couple games, but you're not winning nothing with him.
No. And
I don't care who your coach is. You can have Belichick. You can have Mike Dick. I don't care who your coach is.
You can have Bill freaking Walsh.
Yeah, anybody. You're not winning nothing with him.
It's not happening.
Nah.
And I think to your point, and this is where it marries nicely. Your point was taking to your point, a rookie quarterback. Everybody saw after game 4 or 5, he might be okay.
Right.
You know, we're not sold, but he might be all right.
Right.
Well, here's the other part of that too that we need to make sure we clear. And you've said this. You brought this out. Like,
why are we complimenting each other so much today?
well, this
Christmas cheer.
This is
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
This is who we are. You brought out that even though we had Josh as a rookie, Sean still wanted to start Nathan Peterman with what he saw the previous season. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a head coach that regardless of what Josh showed in practice and regardless of what he showed in OTAs and all that stuff when they drafted him, he still thought, no, we're going to go with the small guy with a limited arm that is more of a timing quarterback and what is no longer a timing offense because they fired Rick Dennison.
Right. So
you bring in Brian Daboll the following season, who's not a timing guy. Well, I guess so essentially all offense is timing off, but you know what I mean. Like there's offenses based that are more focused on timing than others.
Wasn't a West Coast guy. That's what it is.
Right, and Brian Daboll is not a West Coast guy. Mm-mm. So if a head coach can't see those type of those types of discrepancies, that makes me think about the qualifications of the coach. Yeah. And listen, I think Sean McDermott, if he was to go to the college level, would dominate.
Yeah.
Like that's none of what I'm saying is trying to say that Sean McDermott is a bad coach. I don't think he's a bad coach. I just don't think he's right for where the Bills are now. He did his job to get us here. Fine. The same as when Andy Reid got ran out of Philly. Listen, the owner was at a point where he was tired of what Andy Reid was giving. Let's be real about it. Let's be really open and honest about it. The owner was at a position where he was looking for a way out of Andy Reid.
The city probably was too.
Well, right. Because you go to 4 NFC Championship games, you don't get past that. At some point, you gotta wonder, can he even do it?
NFC Championship games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They wanted him out because he got the 4 NFC Championship games. We are possibly on the precipice of 4 divisional round exits, and we're not even thinking about getting rid of our head coach. Oh, well, we're not Philly. Oh, okay, well, we're not Philly, but they won a Super Bowl in the last 5 years. How many Super Bowls?
We're talking about,
how many Super Bowl wins do we have? That's the bottom line. If we're not focused on that, then what are we talking? This is what people have been talking about.
I know.
This is what you've been talking. If we're not focused on Super Bowl wins, then what are we talking about? It's not about tailgating. It's not about food at the games. It's not about jumping through tables. It's not about none of that. It's about championships. Yeah. Every player that gets into the NFL, that plays an NFL game, wants a ring.
Why is Amari Cooper here?
Right.
Why Von Miller come here? I mean, why did Steph leave? We'll say because he saw this was the cap. Whatever he saw was the cap. And he said, I don't think we're gonna ever do that. So, in my mind, when you're talking about guys of that ilk that come to Buffalo, they come to Buffalo with the intent to win. And going further back. You go ahead and get, you got Dorsey or whatever. Why didn't they go get Fitz? Why didn't they go get Fitz to play behind Josh Allen? Fitz loves Buffalo first and foremost. We know this. Mm-hmm. Fitz is a Bill. We know this. Fitz would have worked with Josh Allen. Fitz's brain, if Fitz's brain was inserted in Josh Allen's body, I would be with you guys.
Yo.
I'd be like, this guy is freaking RoboCop. Right. He's made out of vibranium. Yeah, I said that. I know about the Black Panther. Yeah. But the thing is, when it's low hanging fruit, Micah Hyde, Fitzpatrick was the first Micah Hyde.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Frank Gore came in to mentor Devin Singletary. Come on. I mean, what are we doing here? There are guys out there that you could have went and got and say, I don't even want to play. Just throw me a minimum. Don't give me a jersey. I'll work with him.
Yep.
We just need a couple of them. Just a couple on defense. And now, I mean, offensively, we don't have a need as much because we have a veteran cast on offense, and that worries me too because they're getting older. But on defense, go get yourself Patrick Peterson with the non thought that he's gonna ever play a down on defense. Micah Hyde, they did it right. He should have been here from training camp if he wanted to, but they should have postured it differently. Not come back and play, but we'll send you this little bird here. We'll send you this check. Here's your visor. Here's a clipboard. If we really need you, okay, we'll work you. We'll ramp you up. But right now, this is all I want you to do. We got 2 stages that have no clue what they're doing. I need you to coach them up.
MDL said Fitzpatrick will guarantee a Josh Allen injury. Dude always finds a way on the
field. Now, damn it. Hey, now, damn it. Mel, don't agree with that.
Is this the first head coach that's going to come in and throw a football? Like Fitz will insert himself into the game. Guys, I got this. Watch out. Beard is down to his belly button and everything. Can't even see the number on his jersey. Beard is all
false start on Beard. But yeah, no, I think people get so hung up, and it's funny because what did you say? What set you off on your tangent? It was one. I'll paraphrase it. Who are you going to get though?
Basically, that's what sets me. I hate that.
But this is what I'm getting at with that. That's the Buffalo line. You hear it everywhere. You hear it on the radio.
Exactly.
You hear it in passing. You hear it in the stadium. You don't like him? Then who? I don't need to know that.
Yep.
That's for them to know.
Exactly.
Unless you're going to pay me the money to do it. You got it? Ante up. Right. $50K. I'll go find them for you right now. But, that's where people fall apart.
Well, I will say this. Because as someone who has a business and is trying to build a business, well, several businesses, but I think I understand this perspective of what people actually mean when they say, well, who are you going to get, though? The mindset behind that, and I'm not defending, I'm just simply saying this is another perspective, to consider, because I just like being objective in that way. The other perspective is, okay, if you're going to present a problem, then you should have a solution to come with it. Don't just give me a problem. Like, as a CEO, if any of my employees come to me and say, well, we got this issue, okay. I pay you to figure it out.
Right.
I pay you to come up with a solution too. Don't just bring me the problem like I got to solve all of that. I got a lot of other stuff I got to do.
Well, yes,
you know what I mean? So I'll, for the sake of being objective, I will say I understand that aspect of it, but that can't be what you think slits my throat when it comes to me talking about the point.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
The thing is, if you give me time, if you come back with an empty statement like that, give me a little bit of time. I'll find something for you.
Right.
Trust me, I'll find it.
Right. So I'm gonna play DA real quick. So you kind of hit on it too. I think that's the issue. When you say he's not the guy, then who is? And you can't give me an answer. To me, it goes to the old quote. There's an old quote by a retired chief of staff. It says, "Poor preparation leads to poor performance." Mm-hmm. So if you don't prepare the next guy, you just can't say bring anybody in here, because guess what? How did I know the guy you bringing in is better than who we got?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's the issue. It's not that, and I hear what you're saying too, like, if something is bad, it's not working, why would you continue to go through it? Why wouldn't you at least look at the opportunity of something better, of a change? Mm-hmm. Put it this way, a change. It could be better or it could be worse, but you still have that option. Where you stick with what you have, you know what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. If you come here and get something new, what's going to happen?
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the fear, is the unknown.
Yeah, and that's 100%
That's
right.
what fears people.
That's 100% right.
And with Andy Reid, like, the reason why he got rid out of Philly is because he went to the Super Bowl, and after that, everything went downhill. Like, his last 3 years, he didn't even make it to the playoffs. So you went from a Super Bowl caliber team to not even making the playoffs. Yeah, you got to go. Well, like, same thing with McDermott. If he don't make the playoffs in the next 2 years, he's out of here. How you gonna be win a division every year and we're in the playoffs and all of a sudden we're not in the playoffs no more? Nah, bro, you gone.
Well, right, and I get that point. Technically, in that span of 3 seasons, he only had one losing season, and that losing season is when they got rid of him. You're right. He didn't make the. He didn't make the play.
He had a lot. He had a lot more years. So 2005 losing season, 6-10. 2007 he was 8-8. 2011 he was 8-8. In 2012 he was 4-12. That's why he got booted. He was 4-12.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So he had 2 500 seasons. He had 1 season below 500, 2 seasons before that. So technically he had 1 sub 500 season, then he had 2 500 seasons, and then he had a really bad 4-12 season.
What?
So
I was gonna say, what years again?
11 and 12, where he went. 12 is when he got fired because he started KC in 13. But that was his worst season. He went 4-12, and like I said,
so this is from 2009 to 2012.
Yes.
Who else was in the division?
Cowboys.
Yep.
Cowboys.
Packers.
Who else?
Tony Romo was here at that point.
Who else?
Drew Brees.
Your boy.
Drew Brees.
Oh yeah, Eli.
Yeah.
Eli
was there. So, I'm sorry.
But
that's a great point. That matters.
My point is, if you're gonna do that, not you, but if you're gonna play that game, the Bills are handed, just like the Patriots were handed the division every year. So basically,
but so is Pat Mahomes though.
Well, Pat Mahomes is one though. But this is my point though. If you're handed the division, you can't get past 2 games into the playoffs. To me, if you're Andy Reid and you're going against guys in the division that will take your butt from you, which is Eli Manning, which has already won Super Bowls, probably won a Super Bowl one of those years.
Right.
To me, it's just different, and that's not discrediting the point, but it's just I hate when people make a blanket statement without thinking about what was the other variables.
Yeah.
There are other variables, and
that might be why Ravens fans probably have the best gripe out of anybody, because their division has been the toughest for years. Years. Browns, Bengals, Steelers, like what in any given year where those teams haven't been successful, it's because they haven't had a quarterback, but they still have had great defenses that can give you problems and decent run games that if they can keep the game tight, you're in trouble. Right? And the Ravens have done nothing but win that division several years in a row. So I think to your point, like it really does stick out with Patrick Mahomes and even with Josh Allen. They've been in divisions where the rest of the teams are trash. Yeah. But like you said, the difference is Mahomes and Andy Reid, they go and get the job done. Sean McDermott and Josh Allen don't.
That's the hurt piece for me. Is, if you're gifted, the 2 games in the playoffs is tough. Obviously, what is you Mahomes and they usually get 3. Because they get the wild card bye usually. But the point is, if you're in there, you're playing the 7th or 8th or whatever we're talking about, depending. It's just tough to sit here and say, fire the coach when he's got competition, and they did it. They said, Reed, we got to do better. We got to do better. You shown us the baby, but he grown now. Show us another one, and he had a vasectomy. It's over with. So I McDermott, like I said earlier, McDermott is good as long as 17 is here. McDermott, as long as he caters to 17, stays in 17, because 17 can say, hey, Terry, hey, I don't like it no more. Right. But as long as McDermott knows that, even though he don't want nobody, he knows that.
Right.
That's why, to your point, where I think it was Kev Harge weeks ago said, notice the handshake in their locker room. You brought it up too after the post-game speech with the handshake. Why did he go to Josh? There's a million other guys in the lot. Why Josh?
Exactly.
I gotta stay in his good grace because this is the franchise guy.
Exactly. Thank you.
And that's the game you got to play when you're doing this. And to the people's point about McDermott getting fired, going somewhere else and being great, and then comparing to Andy Reid, and unless McDermott decides to become a quarterback whisperer and run an offensive scheme and identify your quarterback that runs your scheme, it's gonna be tough. Because like we said earlier, you put people around the quarterback or around the one player that you think is going to be the catalyst. And Andy Reid identified that with Pat Mahomes early and said, okay, he likes this, he does this, we need to do that. And he has the mind for it. And McDermott is still trying to find an OC that can do that. And Josh in year, 9, 8 when we're talking about next year, he's already who he is. And the offense is old now. His team ain't young no more.
Yeah.
So it's a balancing act you got to play. It really is.
Right. Real quick, Lynn, you absolutely right on your comment. I don't know what is going on with that dude, but I want to answer this question from Nathan Oliver. Actually, real quick before that, MDL, I know you was just asking questions. That when we made the comment about people saying who you're gonna get, it wasn't directed at you. There's been so many other people besides you that have said that and have meant that in more of a malicious way, and that's kind of what we were referring to, because people have been saying this. We've only had this show for 2 years now, and
almost.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty much for the last year and a half, when we started really growing, we've been hearing a lot of that. You know what I mean? So it's not you. I don't want you to think we were frustrated at you.
Man, later for all that, you sub your family. This is how we talk. You're gonna talk to us that way. We're gonna talk to you that way. It's all love in the end. Who cares? We're good.
That's it. So really quick, to answer your question, I'll just give you one example. Right? Let's look at Sean McVay. 2017, he got hired as a head coach with the LA Rams. Same year Sean McDermott became a head coach with the Buffalo Bills. Sean McDermott went 9-7 with his team, right? Mm-hmm. Let's look at Sean McVay's record with his team. 2017, he went 11-5. 2018, he went 13-3. 2019, he went 9-7. 2020, he went 10-6. 2021, he went 12-5. It wasn't until 6 years into his career, after he'd already proven, I know how to win games and get to a Super Bowl in that span. Right? Mm-hmm. He was an NFC champion in 2018. Right? And then 2021, he wins the Super Bowl. Right? It wasn't until 2 years ago that he went 5-12.
Yeah.
So he's not the only one. Kyle Shanahan had great success his first few seasons as a head coach too. There are plenty of examples. I think the idea is just to settle on the mindset that there could be something better out there. It's the choice between a bird in the hand and two in the bush. Mm-hmm. It's the old saying, and I think everybody that listens or has this conversation is on one side or the other. Mm-hmm. But I think for me, I'd rather have the bird in hand and still try and see if I can get the two in the bush. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you gotta fire Sean McDermott before you have a target.
Right.
You can look around and see who's available. You know Ben Johnson is going to be the first name on the list for everybody's head coaching position this season. Go see if he's got some interest at all in coaching Josh Allen. And if he is, guess what? You're probably going to be first in line over Caleb Williams and Michael Penix and some of these other guys that are going to – you know what I'm saying? You got Josh freaking Allen. Yeah. You're going to get the first thought, the first consideration at that point.
I found something. I was talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick earlier. I just was fumbling through. I don't know if you saw this, but I just saw an article that says Ryan Fitzpatrick pleads for the case for Prime to go to Buffalo for the first playoff game. Not Deion Sanders, Amazon Prime for the primetime game. Yep. It says this request was personal to the GM or to Roger Goodell. It says he wrote to him, quotes, Roger, I played in the NFL for 17 years. You know how many times I went to the playoffs, Roger? None. 0. Send me home to Buffalo. Right. Send me home. I wasn't where he came from, Buffalo. I wasn't where he lived here, was born here. He said, for me, this is personal. I want to watch him beat up on the Broncos, Roger. I beg you. Yeah. This is a guy who we just talked about, who would have came in as a backup to work with a player of Josh Allen's caliber. This is a player that would have taken less money. This is a player that didn't want to leave. A player that comes back, takes his shirt off, shows his chesticles in prime time under the orange lights. Yeah. Some players are like this because why? Like you said, I'll say it. Josh Allen. Like I said, James Cook. Like I said, Khalil Shakir. These guys are the catalyst. This is the next frontier for the Bills. Mm-hmm. Capitalize on it. Stop going to get Jordan Phillips. Stop going to get who was the guy? I didn't remember the guy's name. They cut him, the D tackle Williams from the Carolina Panthers. Stop going to get these over the hill players. Capitalize on guys. Build a system that's fun to play in. Mm-hmm. That's what young guys like to do. We want to run. We want to move. We want to do fun stuff. Capitalize. Yep. But the Bills got to figure out how to tap into it.
S1 Nikos writes in. He says, how do we avoid becoming a divisional round exit again? What needs to go right on our end to make it to the Super Bowl? I'll say this first, and y'all can, whatever y'all think. I think, honestly, you either need to fall to the 3 seed so that you don't have to see the Ravens, or you just hope the Ravens lose one of the you know what I'm saying? And the Steelers got to win out so that they win the division, and the Ravens are then, the 5 seed, and they'll play the Texans, and they'll go to Kansas City after that, and one of those teams gets eliminated before you even have to see them. That's the best case scenario for the Buffalo Bills, is avoiding the Ravens right now. That's the team you want to avoid. The Chiefs are definitely better, but the Bills have always played close games against them. It's always been, we've been so close every time to beating that team. I just, the way the Ravens are playing on offense right now, I just don't know what we can do defensively to stop that.
That's the team I want to play.
Really?
Yeah, I want the Ravens.
You want all the smoke.
Yeah, Will Myers not that good in the playoffs, bro. Like, I'm not worried about the Ravens. I'm worried about the Chiefs. So to his question, our defense are going to have to play lights out. Case in point, point blank, period. If our defense don't play lights out, I don't think it's going to happen.
I think the defense, I hate to say this, the defense got to be healthy. And they got to dish this Milano crap. They got to. You got to go with Dorian Williams. He's a team leader in tackles. I mean, say what you will about his coverage skills, but what are we getting gashed on? The ground.
Exactly.
Dorian Williams, it's no secret that when he went out, when they put Milano in, we started getting gashed heavily. So I don't care about Montgomery. I don't care about Jahmyr Gibbs. They did fine against them, but guess what? Kyron Williams, Guess what? What was it? Blake Corum? Who else was it? McCaffrey is about to go off.
It was Puka Nacua. That's who killed the Bills.
Yeah,
in the
but
Rams
what I'm
game.
saying is they were running against us, though.
I mean, Cup killed Taron Johnson a few times.
Yeah, they were. But what I'm saying is the ground game was active. When Dwayne Wilson, their ground game wasn't as active. People were like, oh, we didn't have it figured out. We happened to fall upon something that we didn't want to do before and put this guy that can't cover him.
Right.
You know, and what'd you see in the San Francisco game? I was right next to you. McCaffrey was about to happen.
Yeah.
He was about to happen.
No,
He was about to happen.
no, he wasn't.
He was about to.
He
Okay.
wasn't.
Who was about to happen in?
If it was going to happen, guess what? They would have to score because guess what? Once they got up, they going to keep running McCaffrey and they down by 20? No, they going to have to start passing.
But that's my point. They were gashing us, though.
Yeah, like at the beginning of the game when it was still tight, like before the Bills pulled away, like it was still, there was some danger there whenever McCaffrey got the ball.
Did they score a touchdown? Did McCaffrey score a touchdown?
McCaffrey busted his knee up. I don't want to hear that.
Right,
now.
he got hurt early in the
Did he
game.
score a touchdown?
But
though?
the point
That's
of
what
the
I'm
matter.
saying. If he was driving on the first drive, he was driving, killing the Bills like that. Why didn't they score a touchdown on the first drive? When McCaffrey was healthy. Oh, yeah. No questions. You ain't had no answers for that.
No,
I
there
do,
is
but I
an
mean, it's
answer. I just
like-
don't want to have a whole debate about it.
It's not-
the
it's
reality of it
negligible.
is that the first, we can't put the first drive in a vacuum and say because it didn't happen there, it wouldn't have happened. But I just think the way he was running the ball consistently and getting the ball in the passing game, it seemed to be whenever he got the ball is when the offense was successful, and whenever the offense tried to go anywhere else, it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I think that's the point. The point is when you're trying to force Milano upon us without the sub package, without Dwayne Williams and Milano and Bernard, you're gonna get gashed. You know, with Cam Lewis at safety, whatever. You know, he's a better nickel cornerback. He's hit or miss. DeMar Hamlin, Taylor Rapp, let's go. Rasul Douglas, I guess, whatever. But no, I think the defense has to be healthy, and you have to be ready for anything. And you're playing against the Ravens, you have to be able to stop the run. You know, because Lamar Jackson is going to do both.
yeah.
And Derrick Henry is going to. But see, the thing I like about it is J.D. Hill? He's concussed.
The speedy back for
Yeah, he's concussed. So I don't know when he's coming back. I don't know how the severity, but he was out cold. So to answer the question about what needs to happen for this team to get past, I mean, it's on the team already. Obviously, you can't do anything else.
Right.
So people are suggesting, moving this person up, signing this person. That's all window dressing at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure out what you have right now and make it work to the best of your ability. You're not going to stop everybody from scoring, but you can limit, the tries. You can limit the time of possession, and sway it towards your favor.
Yep.
Because that's how you win. People want to keep Josh off the field. People want to keep this offense off. Who wouldn't? And that's how the Rams did it. The Rams destroyed us in time of possession, and we still almost won that game. But the point of the matter is this: if you stay true to your game, if you don't try to be cute, if you shore up what you can do, your offense is going to take care of the rest.
Yeah. I'll read this point real quick. Steve Lynn says, McDermott is the Dak of coaches, the Tua of coaches, wasting time being good enough to be not good enough. Do you want to chip or just be scared, crying, trapped in drought mindset, being eliminated? I think when we're talking about the Ravens as a threat, I don't think it has anything to do with being scared to play them. The last time we played them in the playoffs, we beat them, but we also had a great defense at that point. We don't have that anymore. And when you look at the what they present as an offense, it's very different. Because somebody made a comment in the chat that we shut down the Lions' run game. The Lions are a very different team from what the Ravens present. Very, very different. Jared Goff is not a mobile quarterback. As soon as you get him off of his point, he's a less efficient quarterback than he usually would be, being able to stand in the pocket. Lamar Jackson is exactly what teams fear about playing against Josh Allen. He's a playmaker by himself. And when you give him an all-pro running back like a Derrick Henry with a big, strong, physical offensive line that typically overpowers smaller, faster defensive linemen like we have, it presents a talent deficit for the Buffalo Bills. When you introduce a talent deficit plus an all-pro running back that they can hand the ball to, yeah, okay, fine. You want to shoot the gaps and shut that down? Lamar Jackson will just fake the handoff and run around everybody for 20 yards. And then what are you going to do?
21.7 miles per hour. I was just jogging.
Right. Right.
Jogging.
That's what needs to be considered as a defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, because how in the world are you going to stop that? And, oh, by the way, Rashad Bateman is now stepped up as a very viable number 2 option to Zay Flowers, which is now opening up things for Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews in the middle. And, of course, Zay Flowers whenever he gets open deep. And when you have a passing game that works the way that theirs works, keep in mind, Lamar Jackson has the most throws to wide open receivers in the NFL right now. The most. So what does that tell you? That tells you, well, schematically, they create so many problems for every defense that they play against that you literally cannot guard everything. And it leads to wide open throws for Lamar Jackson and for these receivers. So when you take all of that into consideration, Lamar Jackson doesn't have to be elite with this offense now. He just has to distribute the ball. And then when you consider that, and then you add on to that his ability to make one to 3 great plays in a game, he instantly gets on that level with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. That's why he has the numbers he has this season. He doesn't have to do it all. He's got a supporting cast around him now where they can pass the ball and they can run the ball. So when I'm looking at playing that team, I'm not even concerned about playing the defense because, like you said, we are going to score on anybody. So what that tells me is whoever we play is going to be a shootout. If I know I am already going into the game at a deficit talent-wise and schematically I don't have any advantages, well, then now I have to hope that a blitz works. Now I have to hope that a tip ball gets me the ball back. Now I have to hope that a peanut punch gives me the ball in scoring position. Those are such low percentage occurrences in the NFL and I get what everybody's going to say to that point, which is, well, we have the highest turnover margin in the league. Fine, but look at the teams that we've played this season. What was supposed to be one of the more difficult schedules in the league turned out to actually be one of the easiest. That's the reality of the situation. So let's breathe for a second. Let's breathe for a second before we start jumping down everybody's throat and thinking that we're being ridiculous.
Hey, yo, bro.
He got me.
He did. You learned well.
He's on point. But yeah. So I mean, but before we start getting caught up in the anger and the frustration of what we're saying, let's process it first. Let's consider the possibility that there's truth to both sides and there's viability to both perspectives. It doesn't have to be Sean is the only option. I've given you an example of a head coach in his first season that went 11-5. Like, that stuff happens. Why can't that be us? Why does the mentality have to automatically be, well, because Sean McDermott went 9-7, that's the best that we'll ever do with a head coach coming into his first season? It's not. It's not.
I mean, it's nice, but it's not the end all be all.
Right. So, all right. It's 8:00. Anybody got to be anywhere?
I got to go to work 8:30.
Okay, so let's take the next few minutes and let's get into this game against the Jets. I know it's not a lot, but let me ask you guys this: is this a game where the Buffalo Bills can win it comfortably without having to play a lot of its starters? And if that's the case, would you consider sitting a lot of your guys for this game? Or do you feel like, the Bills need the number 2 seed and they need to play their starters for as long as it takes to ensure the win?
I don't think they need this one. So I'm on board with sitting as many guys as possible to be healthy because we don't need to win the game. That's just me, but
well, if the Ravens win and we lose this game, they get the number 2 seed, and we fall to number 3. They were talking about that on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So because the Ravens are 11-5 now, if the Bills lose this game because they hold the tiebreaker, they beat us.
If we lose, we'll be 12-4.
Right, but
They already lost 5 games. Ravens already lost 5 games. The only way they beat us is if we have the same record.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, if we lose this game and they win another one, they'll be ahead of us.
You talking about if we're both 12-5?
We have to lose 2 games
That's
to be
what he's
12-5.
saying. I think that's what he's saying. I believe.
No.
He said if they lose this game and they lose another one, I believe.
No. So
No.
what I'm saying is, if we lose this game, it doesn't matter.
No, I'm talking about the next two. If we drop the next two, is what I'm
You talk
saying.
about the Patriots?
Both of them, the next two.
Yeah, we're not losing both
Okay,
games.
so record-wise, if we're a game ahead of them, we're technically only a half a game ahead of them because they beat us, right?
Right.
So what I'm saying is, if we lose this game and they win another game, we have what, 13 wins?
We got 12 wins. We're 12-3.
Okay, so if we lose this game, we're 12-4.
Yep.
And they win their next game.
Yep.
They'll be 12-5.
Yep.
But they'll hold the tiebreaker against. Yes, they would.
They have 5 losses. We only have 4 losses.
I get that, but they beat us.
But that only comes in when you have the same record.
No. Okay.
The Ravens are not going to beat us if we win. If we go to, let's say we lose to the Jets and then we beat the Patriots, we'll be 13-4. The best the Ravens could be is 12-5. They're not going to beat us if we have a better record than them. The only way they can get them is if we have a tied record because they win the tiebreaker.
Yep.
We would have to lose the next 2 games for them to even have the shot at the second seed.
Okay, right. So what I'm saying is, if you don't win this game, are you going all out to beat the Patriots at the end of the season?
You saw the last game, right? Like, I don't think the Patriots beat us even if we do go easy. Like,
Well, that's why I asked the question. I just with the Ravens on our heels, if we have this mindset of we don't need to do that much to beat the Jets, and we have it, because let's face it, the Patriots are not going to make the same mistakes that they made in this game here at home. They're going to be a better team at home.
Wait, Mac, I got this.
Nah.
I got this.
They
Hold
won
on.
3 games all season. They lost more games at home than they did on the road.
Hold on. I got this. Trubisky goes 2-0. Yes. No, but you know what's going to happen? Josh can play this week, honestly, because the Jets are horrible against the run. We got a 3-headed monster. They're going to run most of the game anyway, unless the weather is not permitting, which I don't know why it wouldn't be. James Cook is going to want that. He's going to want to tie the record. I know that. If you watch this mic'd up, he looked at the score. He said, yo, I need those 10 yards. Bro, he had like 90 yards. He said, I need that 10. I need that. He kept saying, I need that 10. So he's not Saquon Barkley. He'll not let the young buck have it. No, he don't care about Ray Davis. He want that 10. He want that 16. And he knows this is a good game for him to try to get it. And he's also going to lob Josh if Josh in it. Stop the BS of the what do you call it? The brotherly shut. No, what do we call it? What do we call it?
Snowplow.
Snowplow. Stop the nonsense. Give me the ball. I need the record. That's what he's going to say. So, I mean, it would be a perfect cap for the end of the season for James Cook. So, I think Josh can play. The offensive line, whatever. I mean, you're talking about.
That's the thing. If Josh playing, you got to play. You got to start the offensive line. You
really
ain't gonna put the
don't.
backups.
Well, you really
You're not
don't.
gonna back with Josh because you're gonna get him hurt.
Not really. Look, like I said, if you run most of the time, it's just a handoff. He's going to hand the ball off most of the time. Then they'll pull him out. That's how I'm looking at it. I don't. Right. Josh is. See, this is what people don't understand. Josh can make or break his MVP campaign with these last 2 games. The way Lamar played on, was it Wednesday? Everybody's like, oh, snap. Have we been sleeping on this dude? And Josh is, I don't get the impression Josh cares as much as everybody else about that trophy. You know, so I can see Josh saying, you know what, I'm going to chill out. But then again, he's a gamer, so it's a conundrum. You know, I want to play. He wanted to play the Steelers preseason game. So I don't really know, but I know Joe Brady and McDermott will isolate him. Let him take off one time. Nah, bro. Nah. You're not doing that. You got to save it from yourself. Troops, get in there. Mike White, you need some Christmas money? What you buy? Got to re-up? Get in there. You know, so I can see Cook playing. I can see, well, the Lions healthy, right? Spencer Brown might not play as much if he has a little ding and back, whatever. They put Vandermark over there. Deion Dawkins has been relatively okay. The interior line, I'm not really worried about any of the three. Well, Osiris Torrance has been healthy. The other two, whatever. They're not that great anyway. Defensively, McDermott has shown, y'all got to play. I got to see more out of y'all. Milano, if you see Milano play, that tells you right there. I'm trying to get the rust knocked off this defense. We got to rectify this thing. So I think I know what you're saying. I don't think you're going to see Josh throw. I don't think he's going to get 4,000 yards this season. I really don't. I don't think he's going to get, what do you have now, 26? I don't think he's going to get 30 touchdowns on the season because he's got to get 4 in the last 2 games. I don't think he's going to throw enough. And if he does, unless Shakir takes him to the house, ties down and takes him to the house, it don't matter. I think it's going to be just enough to move the chains. Mac Hollins might have a big day every once, one of the 2 games. And that's it. Amari Cooper is going to be happy to play in Buffalo just because we're winning. And he's not going to see the ball again. That's it. That's just how I look at it.
Right. Any other thoughts about this game
Coming up?
And it just from a standpoint of what you expect to see from the team, what you think might happen in this game, anything special, anything spectacular. I mean, I think this is going to be like with what Josh said in terms of not wanting to show much and what it seems like Sean's mindset is, which is let's just get to the playoffs healthy. I think there's a real chance that they could lose these 2 games. I listen, when we see some of what we've seen this season, which is the Bills having slow starts against the Patriots and the Bills having struggling against the Dolphins the way they did when we usually dominate that team every time we play them. I just, to me, there's nothing that I can hang my hat on in terms of, oh yeah, they're gonna win this game. Like I was on the morning show with Tommy talking about that. Yeah, we gonna blow these boys out. You were saying we're gonna blow them out, but the Friday before the game. So when I get to that point where it's like, yo, every time I think they're gonna do what they should do, they do the opposite. And then you listen to the way they talk after the game, and then you realize, okay, well, it didn't happen this way because their mentality was different. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I think going into these next 2 games, I gotta wonder: do these games matter to Sean? Do these games matter to the team because of what Sean thinks? And if Sean doesn't value these games from the standpoint of we got to win them to make the playoffs, and he's looking at this from the perspective of, well, we're already in the playoffs. We just gotta make sure we're healthy and ready to play these teams. Well, then does it really matter if they lose these next 2 games? Right, and that's kind of like that's my thought. Like that's why I say like there is a pretty good chance they could lose these next 2 games.
We can't be even lower than 3rd, right? We can't be 4th, can we?
No,
okay.
No, because the Texans.
Well, I'm not worried about them.
Yeah, right.
I'm not worried about.
So no, but I mean, in all seriousness, though, three looks good now, though, because if you're 3, you play the Chargers. If everything stays the same, 3 plays the Chargers. The Ravens will have to play the Broncos. And wait, hold on, let me look at this.
Yeah, and then Pittsburgh play Houston.
Okay, right.
I'd rather play. I want Denver first. I'd rather play Denver.
You want Denver?
Yeah. I agree. I think Denver's a better matchup for us than the Chargers would be. Chargers are a big physical team. Their offensive line, they completely revamped that thing.
The other thing they can do with this Jets game is if they can win the game before halftime.
Yeah,
and I think they can pull people out. That way they can win the game, and then just kind of chill for the second half. That's
what I'm hoping that's what I'm hoping happens.
And we haven't lost a game at home all season, so I don't think we're going to do it this time either. I don't think we're losing at home.
To that point, is there any credence in thinking they might do that with the offense anyway?
What?
Pull them at halftime.
Blow them out at
whether
halftime?
They're winning or losing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
If they're winning, it's easier. If they're losing or they're down on 1 score, I don't think they do it.
Yeah, the crowd would be pissed if they did it. If they didn't pull the players.
You know what? And the thing is, 1 o'clock game, it would be tough to to drop to third right now. If I'm understanding, it'd be tough. You have to lose both games.
Yeah, we gotta lose both games.
So if you lose on Sunday, we just saw the Patriots. We got to go to New England.
Mhm.
You're not. I mean, it would be a bad look to pull your starters and put them back in for the last game.
Right.
You got to commit at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think this goes back to my first ever Bills game with Thurman Thomas. He's got to get 1,000 yards. They're playing for accolades. Khalil Shakir is 7 catches away from 80 catches. He's not going to get 1,000 yards. It's not going to happen. Kincaid, you got to jumpstart him because he's had a lackluster season. I mean, to play as much as he did, he's only got how many catches? 28 or something like that. So you got to get these guys jump started on offense. There's a little fine tuning. Offensively, there's not much to learn. There's not much to gain, win or lose. So we've seen McDermott not care what the crowd cares about, not care if they're happy or mad. He has a plan. You know, it's all a part of the process. Are you gonna trust it? Or are you not? That's up to you. I've always said, to hell with the process. Give me wins.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say, trust the process. So keep saying it. Because the process is supposed to lead you to the promised land if you believe in the guy. The defense is the concern.
Right.
You know, that's the side where we got a lot of work to do because we haven't been consistent since the Rams game in a defense that works.
Yeah.
We can't figure out whether or not to put Milano in or Dorian Williams. I can figure it out. Most people right now figured it out, but they don't want to pull Milano out because of the name, the legend of Milano. What was it? The legend of Kiko.
Yeah.
After you fizzled out, you still got lore. We saw it with Tre'Davious White. We see it with Von Miller. They can't let it go.
Right.
So if you want, see what you got. Bernard, you know, we don't really put Fascio in there.
Right.
Go ahead. I mean, right now because Spectre is on IR. You're not calling AJ Klein. He's already in Key Largo, so he's not coming back. You know, so I mean, it's just the fact that you got to see what else is there if you got to pull somebody up. Andreessen, I mean, he's great, but I don't really want to see him in the playoffs.
But yeah, I think you're right though. If let's say the Bills have a overwhelming lead in the first half, they pull the starters in, like you said, they're not gonna play them in the Patriots game, especially if we win. Because if we win, we're locked up. We can't lose the second seed. So at that point, you have nothing to lose. You have nothing to gain either. You have nothing to gain with beating the Patriots or playing the starters. So I think you rest the starters against the Patriots. So kind of give us that bye week, and then we play that first game in a wild card. But yeah, that's the because I can't see that, Key. I can't see them pulling them starters in the second half and then starting them in the Patriot game. I can't see you doing that.
No.
Right.
That'd be just ridiculous. That wouldn't make any sense.
It don't make no sense.
Yeah. LFB says, I don't think they pull anyone until the fourth quarter. I
Probably
mean,
right.
Depending on the score.
Yeah, right.
Depending on the
Depends
score.
on the score. Yeah, for sure. Lynn says McDermott is the defensive guru. He's going to save Buffalo. I hope that's sarcasm, man. I hope that's sarcasm.
I mean, to that point, I need to see that defensive guru step. I don't want him calling plays, but I need to see the defense do something with the pieces that it has. Because the national media is saying the defense is going to be why we don't make it anywhere this year.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the other part of that, too. Pointing to the Lions' win, the Lions could just as easily say exactly what we said when we lost to the Rams, which was we didn't expect them to attack us in that way. We didn't expect them to go with that scheme on defense.
Right.
I think the Bills the Bills coaching staff underestimated the efficacy of the Rams defensive line. Their defensive line has been good all season. And then when you fold over into the Lions game and you look at what we did to the Lions, they never expected us to attack their linebackers with running backs.
Right.
You know what I mean? They never expected for one of our running backs to put up over 100 yards receiving. You know what I mean? It really, really, really comes down to very small details in game plans that were the factors in those matchups, right? But, man, when you go into the playoffs, these teams have nothing but time to focus on you. And that's why it's such a different level. That's why there is a level of concern with how the defense performs. Like, yeah, Sean McDermott can scheme it up, but once you get past the first 15 in each half, now what? You know what I'm saying? If their coaching staff can make any type of adjustments, you're going to end up with a dogfight. You know what I'm saying? And then what are you going to do? Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think that's where the concern comes from. Again, nowhere in what I'm saying am I trying to say or trying to make the point of Sean McDermott has not shown that he can be a good coach. I'm simply saying I think the Bills have reached a level where we need better leadership. We just need better leadership. It's the equivalent of, let's say I'm a singer, right? And I hire, I don't know, I hire Kevin Harge as my agent, right? And just random call out. I'm not picking a fight. And me and Kev been, we've been cool since day one, and I know him, and I trust him. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm going into the music business, I want to bring somebody with me I trust, right? And Kev gets it done. He gets me shows. He gets me A&R meetings, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I get a deal. You know what I'm saying? And I get to the point where now I'm a platinum selling artist, right? My tour dates is selling out months ahead of time, right? The next level for me, though, once I get to that stage, now I got to start thinking about what type of endorsement deals I'm gonna have. Now I'm thinking about starting my own businesses. Now I'm thinking about investment portfolios. Now I'm thinking about Super Bowl performances and all that kind of stuff. And once you get to that level, you gotta know people. Mm-hmm. You gotta know people. Well, Kev been rocking with me. He's only been meeting enough people to get me to that level. He don't know anybody else up there to give me a Super Bowl show. You know what I'm saying? So okay, well, I'm gonna say to myself, you know what? I've been rocking with Kev. I'm a dance with who I came with, right? And I go the next few years, and I'm still kind of ebbing and flowing right at that same level of, multi-platinum selling artist, you know what I'm saying? But people starting to wonder, like, where's he going to go from here? Because, he's starting to fizzle out a little bit, and his sound needs some changing and stuff like that. Is he going to come with something new and different, or is he going to take the next step, or what's he going to do? Okay, well, then I got to start really thinking after a while of hearing all that stuff from the critics and media and people who consume my product. There might be a next level of agent that I got to get to before I can really get to that point, because I need access. I need someone who can get those meetings with big time execs, for the bigger the bigger record deals and the bigger performance deals, and someone who can get me into movies, and someone, you know what I'm saying? You got to know people in that industry, right? So to me, it's the equivalent with Sean McDermott. I listen, Kev didn't do a bad job. He got me to where to a certain level of success that's great. Mm-hmm. And if that's all I was happy with at that point, then me and Kev could, drive off into the sunset, and we'd be great. Mm-hmm. But if my mindset is to strive for more, if I want to be in movies, if I want a Super Bowl show, if I want all that other stuff, well, now I got to really start thinking about who I have in my leadership role as far as helping me get there. Yeah. And that's where we're at with Sean McDermott. We're at the point where it looks like he's given everything that he could possibly give. And if that means it's 1 AFC championship appearance and 4 divisional round exits, well, look, my man, Sean, thank you very much. You did a great job while you were here, but this is as far as you can take us. Mm-hmm. It's not that we don't appreciate it. It's not that we didn't enjoy the winning while you were here, but we're ready for the next level. We're ready for the Super Bowl performance. We're ready for the movie appearance. We're ready for the bigger labels with bigger distribution and bigger merchandise deals and global tours, not just national tours. We're ready for that next level.
You ready to stomp with the big dogs?
Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I just want that. I want that to be the understanding here. Like everybody who's been rocking with us, that's where they know that's where we at. But for everybody that's coming on new, like that's really what it's about. That's Nathan Oliver said McD is still learning. Aramis thinks he knows it all. Listen, it's not about knowing it all. It's about observing and seeing what's going on.
Right.
I don't have to know everything Sean McDermott knows to know that what he's doing ain't working. Right. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to know where my football knowledge comes from, it comes from somebody who's played in the NFL. And I talk to him on a daily basis, and he mentors me. So let's not get this twisted with thinking that just because I sit up here and say silly things and be silly that I don't know what I'm talking about. It's an observation. And just because these are professionals getting paid to do a job doesn't mean they're the best at it. That's not what it means. Yeah. Michael Jordan wasn't the best basketball player in the world. He just made the NBA. There's a lot of guys that people would say were better than him that played right. in the Bronx.
Right. You'd be like, you think he's good?
Yeah.
You know about 22 Tap Allen over here.
Exactly. It's like, I'll put it like this. I went to, matter of fact, Beth knows. We went to performing arts. Mm-hmm. There were some singers in that school that would blow the brakes off of some of these singers nowadays. Mm-hmm. But do they have deals? Mm-hmm. No. Because it's not just about the talent. It's about what you can do with the opportunity. Yep. Right?
You talking about Michael Jordan, Hank Gathers. Everybody says he was Len Bias. Had those guys got to really play, women know Michael Jordan. That's what they say. And It might be because they're posthumously, but I don't know. But I can tell you, Michael Jordan was good. Sean McDermott was good. I'm sure Kev would be good.
Yeah.
But you know what I know is good? Reed's Tea. You know why it's good?
You got me, bro. I'm waiting for a good Bills point.
This is the best point.
You're right.
Because it's one part refreshing, one part delicious, 2 parts healthy. That's what you can expect when there's only 4 ingredients. I don't even drink tea, but let me tell you, that's a good drink there. What you doing? Head on over to Reed's. Get your supply by the case or individual. Why would you get the case? Why would you get the individual? Get the case. You won't be disappointed. But what do I know? See for yourself. Reed's Tea. R-E'_S T-E-A, because it's a drink. Click on the link in the description below. Use the term Post Podium Podcast. Let them know who sent you. Also, before we get out of here, actually 2 points. You got a point you need to make too. But 1, condolences to the Gumbel family. Rest in peace, Greg Gumbel passed away today at 78 years old, surrounded by his friends and family, passed away peacefully at home after a long bout of cancer. So once again, somebody that we've listened to ad nauseum as Bills fans. Somebody that we've listened to as nauseum with his brother as well. Prayers up. And you got a plug? You got something you want to talk about?
Yeah, real quick. Nathan Oliver says, give some love to Ricky, the greatest of all time, Henderson.
Oh yeah. Ricky, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Baseball. I don't know enough about baseball, but I know he's the all-time leader in bases stolen. Mm-hmm. I want to say passed away actually pretty young, in his 60s, but I'm not sure what he passed away of. I don't have my Yankees hat on, so you can't even say he's a baseball fan in disguise. But yeah, so rest in peace to Ricky Henderson.
Yeah. All right, listen. We got a couple of comments in the chat about the hoodies. These are the prototypes. Yep. Okay? We wearing these so that you can see what they look like, so that you can know what you're gonna get. Now, here's the deal. Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first, you last. Yeah, that's absolutely right, man. So with the hoodies, they're going to be available in all types of colors. Some of the darker colors I may change around the color scheme of the logo. You know what I mean? Like, so we right now
see it.
Yeah, right now what we're putting into production are white, black, and gray, because those colors look really nice with this logo. Okay. But once we start getting to the blues and reds, I might have to, switch some stuff around. So all of that is going into production now. We're still waiting for word from YouTube as to when that's going to open up for us to connect stores, the store to the channel and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, T-Bone, I got you. He said, I'm going to need 2 of those hoodies. Appreciate that. So as soon as they come available, you will be the first to know. Even if I got to put it in the community part section of our channel, y'all will be the first to know. Y'all will have access to it. I will be announcing the 500th subscriber on Monday. And then we'll get that hoodie sent out to you guys. Just so you know. I should be playing the music at this point, right?
I was wondering,
I'm doing all this stuff without the music. All right. So, all of that stuff is coming. I promise you, it's coming very soon. Stay tuned for all that. Okay. New content coming on the way too. We're in the works. I'm getting my pop back on so we can do some more film review stuff. So make sure you keep your eye out for that. Me and Key gonna be working on a stat show. You more than welcome to join if you want, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like just a quick 15-20 minute, recorded episode where we go through, stats of the game, whether it's, post game or pre-game, whatever. So keep an eye out for that too. Listen, if you haven't done already, please like, subscribe, hit that bell.
Make that thing ring a lang a lang.
And Key's got to get to work, so let me speed this up real quick. We thank y'all for tuning in. This has been the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all true, no sodium takes. I've been your co-host, Aramis.
Boy, Melly Mac.
And I'm not rushing. I just want to help break down before I go. For the Keys. See y'all later.